watch out if your enemy's a road ahead of full prophecy. To be the greatest beast the world has ever seen. I feed him every day like the bones clean. I feed him all the hate and he grows me. And he gets claws real big, pissed off quick. And if you cross him, you might drop dead. Metaphorically, of course, settling the score. Never getting bored, loves the blood and gore. Always wanting more freedom from the source. They don't really understand until they feel the force departed. If you start shit, you'll be heartless in the darkness. Torn apart quick, you left scars ripped. You'll be chewed up and discarded. And this world ain't right, won't accept it. Negative energy, I expect it. Once it's in your mind, it's infectious. So fight for your life and reject it. You better give me space, I'm protective. My adrenaline spikes when I'm threatened. And if you stay in my way, I'm aggressive. Cause when there's no exit, I'll kill when I'm desperate. Adrenaline pressure, it's stormy weather, lightning, thunder, pouring weather. Yo, I'm a go-getter, try to do it like me, but I do it better. I got a mind that's clever, the beast inside is competitive as ever. I'm conscious, my subconscious, an accomplice to me. I promise the darkness, I can honest believe. But don't cross me, I might lose control of the lost beast. He's locked away inside with the key control by fight or flight. And this world ain't right, won't accept it. Negative energy, I expect it. Once it's in your mind, it's infectious. So fight for your life and reject it. You better give me space, I'm protective. My adrenaline spikes when I'm threatened. And if you stay in my way, I'm aggressive. Cause when there's no exit, I'll kill when I'm desperate.
I work blind, got vision I don't need to see. I'm picking mind over matter, I believe in me. I need to find more hours in the day to breathe. Need to find more power in the way I be. And when my mind turns sour with the painful scenes, I need to scream out loud, I can't stop me. I wanna be the greatest like Rocky. You know I leave them all hating like a hobby. I'm out here making moves like a lobby. And if you ain't with me, it's your loss, see. I got my mind on the facts, I'm a python, grab what I like real fast. Choke until I have everything I attack, everything that I lack, everything that I want and I see, matter of fact.
Cause I'm my own worst enemy. Only if I let it be. I can control anything if I can just think carefully. I control my destiny. Deep up in my mind I manifest it. Every morning I wake up, I'm
Welcome to My Mind Over Your Matter. My name is Rick. Turn the cameras here. Woof! What a day. I am so tired, but gotta get the show done because it's the day before my birthday. And, I'm like, what should I do? What should I do the day before my birthday? The same thing I do every single day is go through the news and see what's going on in the world, because the world is crazy. And like I said before, and I'll say it again, and I learned this from I was a little boy growing up. Knowing is half the battle. And that was G.I. Joe. And I hope you guys are getting that half of the battle taken care of, and that's the knowledge that you input into your brain every day. And don't pollute your brain with stupidity, because there's a lot of it going on these days. And it's sad to see, because like society has just gone bonkers and they continue to do crazy shit on a daily basis. I have a feeling something truly big is going to happen, and it's not going to be good for the Democratic Party. So with that said, let's go ahead and catch some news and see what's up. Let's go ahead and set this up and let's see what the President Trump has to say.
How would you characterize your relationship with Emmanuel Macron and Keir Starmer right now? And have you spoken to them since your Truth Social post last
No, I
night?
haven't, but I think I get along very well with them. I mean, they always treat me well. They get a little bit rough when they're, when I'm not around. But when I'm around, they treat me very nicely. And, I like both of them. They're both liberal. They've got to straighten out their countries. You can't, London is having a lot of problems. And if you look at Paris, got a lot of problems. They have two problems: immigration and energy. They got to stop with the windmills, and they got to go back. Like UK has an unbelievable asset called the North Sea. Norway uses it, makes a fortune. They have a better section of it, and they don't do it. They could straighten out their countries, and it would be good. But I get along very well with them.
You told Norway's prime minister.
Are you from Norway?
No.
You look like you would be from Norway. She looks like she's from Norway. Go ahead.
You told Norway's prime minister that you not winning the Nobel Peace Prize made you feel less obligated to think purely of peace.
Well, I lost a lot of respect for Norway. And I believe very strongly that Norway controls the Nobel Prize. But you have to understand, I settled 8 wars. I've had every one of those wars, every participant wrote, I didn't ask them to do it. They sent in strong they make recommendations for that. But I settled 8 wars. No president's probably ever settled 1 war. I don't know, think of it. I did 8. The reason I do it is because it's easy for me to do. And I didn't do it for a Nobel Prize. I did it because I'm saving a lot of lives. I'm trying to settle the final one. I'm trying to do Russia, Ukraine. And when Russia's ready, Ukraine's not. When Ukraine's ready, Russia's not. But they're losing 25,000 people a month on average.
Wow, that's
and I'm trying to get that one done. But no, I feel that Norway has tremendous control over who gets the Nobel Prize, despite what they say.
Hey, Chloe, what's up? Oh, Chloe's out dashing. There you go, girl. You work it, girl. All right, let's keep it moving because we got a good amount of news to watch, and it all ties in together. So let's continue.
In democracies, doesn't make sense to have terrorists be divided, even to threaten now with additional terrorists.
What happened? Brigitte beat him up again?
French President Emmanuel Macron not happy about President Trump's new threats of tariffs. Just days ago, Trump threatened 8 European allies if they opposed his plan to take control of Greenland. Scripps News international correspondent Ross Bone is live in Paris, where Macron just spoke recently at Davos. And Ross, what exactly did he say?
Yeah, Holly, good morning. I'll start with the president of the European Commission. She's one of the top 2 leaders of the European Union, Ursula von der Leyen, and she spoke a little bit earlier saying that a deal is a deal. The United States and Europe did sign a trade deal last year. She said that she thought that when you shake hands with friends, that means that a deal is signed. She said that Europe would be unflinching, united and proportionate in its response to the threats from the Trump administration on 8 European nations sanctions if they continue to oppose the US taking control of Greenland. The US wants to impose 10% tariffs on that. She said that sovereignty spoke about an hour ago, saying that there was a new colonial approach taking place. He said that I prefer respect to bullies, and this is useless aggression. Now, he didn't specifically name the United States, but of course, these were indirect references to the policies of the Trump administration. He said that he does not accept the law of the strongest, really saying that we are killing the structures where we can fix the situation, appealing to Donald Trump and the wider Trump administration to step back and dial down the rhetoric and give up this ambition of trying to take Greenland, which is a self-governing territory inside the Kingdom of Denmark.
And Ross, Trump is also threatening a 200% tariff on French wine. So what has been the reaction to that?
How are they going to defend Greenland?
Well, the French president and the sources close to Emmanuel Macron, before he took to the stage at Davos, did say that it would be useless, it would be ineffective to try to put in these tariffs, 200%. That's not the way that allies behave. That's not the way that friends behave towards each other. French wine and champagne, such a major export market, and they had a really good news with this new free trade agreement between the European Union and Latin American countries. Now they've had a bit of a cold shower with Donald Trump suggesting 200% tariffs. Mr. Trump has described Mr. Macron as someone he knows very well, who's a friend. He sees him as a great guy, to use the American president's language. But both of them are now going to be in Davos, and we will be watching carefully. It's likely, Holly, to be a blockbuster speech by the US president on Wednesday in the Swiss ski resort town of Davos. He's likely to once again repeat the US ambition to take control or seize or buy Greenland. And he's likely also to speak at length about this new Wood of Peace initiative. And the suggestion is that Emmanuel Macron didn't want to sign up to that initiative. And in response, Trump announced the possibility of 200 tariffs French wine.
Before I let you go, a lot of me wondering, why was Emmanuel Macron wearing sunglasses that we just noticed? We just saw him.
He wears sunglasses.
Yes, well, let me just touch on that. Perhaps a slight homage to your former president, Joe Biden, who often wore aviator sunglasses. But Mr. Biden often wore those outside. Emmanuel Macron wearing aviator sunglasses inside because he has a benign eye condition. His right eye is all swollen and bloodshot. And so instead of wearing a patch or a medical bandage, he went for sunglasses.
You know, I got to say, I like the look. All right, Scripps News international correspondent Ross Cullen live in Paris for us. Thank you, Ross.
Yeah, what an idiot. Macron wearing sunglasses in the daytime inside. I wonder, how did you get a bloodshot eye? The last time I seen that eye get attacked before, it was Brigitte grabbing at your eye. And you're looking like this outside, looking, oh shit, the door's open to the plane. And she grabbed him all by the chin and yanked his ass and beat him up. Let me tell you, Brigitte is a very domestic violence big time. She is spouse abuse. I could just go like this, Macron. If you can see my hand. Here, let me put it more towards this side so you can see it. So go like this, Macron. If you need help, your thumb goes in and 4 fingers down. There you go. That's the universal language, sign language, that you're in danger. If you need help, Macron. That's all you got to do, brother. Macron needs help. Brigitte has gone crazy. She poked Macron in the eye with his wiener. Oh my God, Brigitte's wiener poked Macron in the eye. Now he has to wear glasses because, yeah, he's a fucking idiot. And let's keep it moving because we got more to watch. And let's see, what the hell is this about?
Let me
pause this for a second. Let me set this up. Here we go.
Words you might understand. Mr. President, off.
What the hell? Wait a minute. Well, let me rewind this. Why are we cursing on a national stage? And this is a European national stage. So why is this gentleman from representing, I guess he's the Dutch or part of Greenland or partly, I guess, the Dutch, and he's cursing in front of all these people? Like, where's the respect? That's why Trump don't respect these clowns, because that's all they do. They do nothing but talk shit and kick rocks. That's how they're gonna end up doing. Let's watch.
Let me put this in words you might understand. Mr. President, off. Det var næsten.
I guess he learned that from Pride or in Minnesota.
A year ago, that's what I said when I was here. I said very clearly that if Trump
is against our rules, as much as you might feel or the room might feel in this, we have clear rules about
language,
cuss words, language.
Yep.
That is inappropriate in this room. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but it is unacceptable, even if you might have strong political feelings about this.
Yeah, so go fuck off.
It's interesting,
idiot,
that it's a semantic exercise, but the message was clear then.
What
because the only language Trump understands is direct language, and the only rebuttal.
Yeah, you can tell where he lies.
Trump understands is the strong one from the EU, but the EU has given in.
They're all over the place.
The High Representative said it's legitimate to talk about security challenges in the Arctic. It's the US administration which has cut the number of soldiers from 15,000 to just 150. We talk about saying it's legitimate to talk about the rare earth resources in Greenland, but that's up to the Greenlanders. We have a trade agreement, so this House would have been happy to sign it, even though we have high tariffs on Europe but none on the US. We've promised to invest more in Trump's economy. If Europe doesn't understand that, we must have a clear rejection, a clear no to Trump before the military threat is off the table.
All it has to do is with Russia. Russia's going to make a tremendous threat to Europe. They're going to threaten their sovereignty. They're gonna threaten them with the ballistic missiles, and they might shoot ballistic missiles at Europe. And then what Europe is gonna do? Oh, US, please help us! Help us! We need help. Sorry, bitch. We're like 6 hours, like almost like 6-7 hours away. So you'll get your help when we're ready to go. We're too far away from you guys. So fight your own wars, fight your own battles, and see how you do. You're going to see they're going to fucking cry and bitch and moan and, oh my God, the US is not helping us. Of course not, bitch. We're not near you. We're on the other side of the fucking world. If we were in Greenland, we could put our ships there. We could put our battleships there. We could put our submarines there. We could have our own base, but it has to be a state. It has to belong to the United States for us to put those equipment there. Like, how stupid is Europe? They're not thinking about their security. They're thinking about, oh my God, the land. The land, what? It's a bunch of ice. What? If we dig into it, you know how hard it is going to dig into it for rare minerals? Yeah, they have rare minerals, of course. Everybody has rare minerals. The whole fucking planet is one big mineral, you asshole. Oh my God, these people are so stupid, man. Listen, that's all it takes. It only takes one big attack from Russia on the UK and onto Europe, and you'll see them all like cowards lining up. Please, United States, help us. Please help us. And we're going to be like, we're too far away to help you. Go ahead and fight your own battles. We'll come whenever we feel like it. And that's it. And then you'll see how they're going to change their tune. They can be like, here's Greenland. Here's the Red Bull. We're going to decorate it for you. Here. We'll even melt the ice for you. Fucking idiots, man. Oh, God. Let's keep it moving. We still got a lot more to watch. And more Trump.
Okay, one more. Yes, blonde, blue. Yes, go ahead, ma'am. Go ahead with the blue, holding the computer.
If a consequence of your determination to take control of Greenland is the ultimate breakup of the NATO alliance, is that a price you're willing to pay?
You mean the breakup of it's very interesting. So I think something's going to happen that's going to be very good for everybody. Nobody's done more for NATO than I have, as I said before, in every way. Getting them to go up to 5% of GDP was something that nobody thought was possible, and pay. At 2%, they weren't paying. At 5%, they are paying. And they're buying a lot of things from us, and they're giving them, I guess, to Ukraine. That's up to them, but they're giving them to whoever they're giving them to, but they're buying a lot. I think that we will work something out where NATO is going to be very happy and where we're going to be very happy. But we need it for security purposes. We need it for national security and even world security. It's very important. How about it?
Thank you very much. First of all, last year you told me that you believe that the reason you won election is because God put you in this place so that you could save the world. Looking back 1 year, do you feel like God is proud of the effort that you've done?
Oh, yeah, I think God is very proud of the job I've done. And that includes for religion. You know, we're protecting a lot of people that are being killed, Christians, Jewish people, and lots of people are being protected by me that wouldn't be protected by another type of
A lot of
president.
Christians are dying
I think,
in Africa.
I think a lot of people are very proud of the job we've done. We've had an amazing year. This has been one of the greatest years. Even some people that wouldn't necessarily love me instinctively, they're saying this was an incredible year. We've had an incredible year economically. Look at our border. Our border was a disaster. People poured. It was an invasion into our country of a lot of very bad people, good people too, but a lot of very bad people from prisons and drug dealers and gangs and horrible people, murderers, thousands and thousands of murderers allowed into our country. And we now have the strongest border of any country. There's probably not a country, I guess North Korea has a pretty strong border, by the way, but there's not a country in the world that has a border like we do. And we took it from the worst border. We had the worst border in the world. Now we have one of the strongest borders in the world.
Yeah, Trump has he's going to get what he wants. That's all it is.
We have now some exciting news to share with you. Second Lady Usha Vance posting on X that her family is growing. Vice President J.D. Vance also putting out a statement reading in part. We're very excited to share the news that Usha is pregnant with our fourth child.
Whoa!
Usha and the baby are doing well, and we are all looking forward to welcoming them in late July. It's incredible.
Whoa.
And we wish them the best.
Hey, Sean Hannity
Our
here.
Vice
Hey,
President
click
is
here
gonna
to
have a fourth
subscribe to
child.
Fox News YouTube page.
And I heard it was going to be a boy. Ooh, that is wild. Let me see. He was pretty busy. If he's going to have his baby in July, break the time frame when he was Humpy Dumpy. I mean, when was the last time we had a pregnancy, vice president's pregnancy and having a baby during their time at the White House? That's very unique. That's very cool. You know, congratulations, JD. You got it in there, and got another one coming. And all this talk about, oh, they're getting a divorce. They're getting a divorce. These Democrats, they always run with the wrong narrative. It's like they run backwards instead of forwards. It's crazy. It is. All right, guys. Let's see. What else we got here to watch? We got so much to watch. And of course, we're going to have to restart this because the sound is, I'm telling you, StreamYard. I'm actually gonna be giving them a call. I haven't done it yet, but I'm gonna be giving them a stern call because this is it's ridiculous how the sound is always affected on this program. I don't know why, but it's always messed up. But here we go.
River Valley Church, which is in Minneapolis, and calls these protests a desecration of the house of God. And he joins us now. Good morning to you, Pastor.
Hey, good morning, Ainsley. Thanks so much for having me.
Well, we're so glad you're here. We want to get your reaction, and also we're hoping that they really make an example out of these individuals, because we can't see this happening every Sunday. And you have 11 different locations. You're the second largest church in, I believe, the whole state. So I'm sure you're fearful that this could happen. And what are you doing to protect your parishioners?
Yeah, what happened on Sunday is shameful. It's a shameful attack on faith, and it cannot stand. And I'm grateful to be a part of River Valley. Our lead pastors, Pastor Rob and Becca, they've been leading for 30 years, and they've been standing up in moments like this. This is unjust. It's un-American. But more than that, it's against God. You do not want to be the people that get between God, the living God, the creator of the universe, and his children who come into his house and to worship. And so this is an opportunity as Christians, as believers, to be strong, to be bold, to resist the darkness. And like in Jesus's most famous sermon, Matthew chapter 5, we are a light to this world. We're to be light in the dark, like a city set on a hill. And so we're going to continue to show up. You know, we stand with Cities Church. I thought Pastor Jonathan did an amazing job responding like Christ in a very difficult moment. And so we stand with Cities Church. We stand with Pastor Jonathan, their congregation. We pray that Sunday church full of worshipers, full of peacemakers, full of those that are just doing their best to be more like Jesus. And so as River Valley Church, we come alongside this church that really has had a moment of persecution. And we're going to continue to worship. We're going to continue to show up. We're praying for every Bible-believing church across the Twin Cities and across our nation to do not be afraid. The words of the living God, do not be afraid. We don't believe in this dualism. Light is not equal to darkness. It's not an equal match. The light of Jesus Christ is infinitely more powerful than the darkness that would want to come against it.
Pastor, I know that, the Christian tenets are to be of forgiveness and mercy and not to harbor things or seek vengeance, but not in the vein of protecting people who attend church. I mean, you do face that kind of proving like this. I guess it's in the nuance of obstruction. What was obstruction versus disruption? But are you coalescing as pastors in the area to say, listen, we have to take these steps, file this lawsuit or obtain this security? When the Attorney General says, I'm not sure they did anything wrong, that's concerning the state's Attorney General.
We are connected with pastors across the Twin Cities, and for weeks and for months, and honestly for years since what happened in 2020, working together with other pastors in the unrest of our city. And so we, at River Valley Church, we do have security teams. We do have law enforcement and police officers that do show up at our locations, because when Pastor Rob planted our church 30 years ago, he said, we're going to do everything that we can to lay it all on the line to protect children. And that includes protecting children, the unborn, protecting children against gender-affirming care, protecting children. You seeing the video, what happened in St. Paul at Cities Church? Yes. These protesters are terrorizing women and children. You got kids crying. That is the wrong side of this issue.
So, Pastor, what I don't get, they evidently went into the church, they sat there for a while, and then they got up and started doing what we all see on video. So what was their complaint? What is their complaint with the pastor, that they were saying that he's not doing enough to help those lunatics on the street?
My understanding is that there's a pastor that is on their team that either works for ICE or collaborating with ICE. And our stance is that we are for law enforcement. I'm grateful to President Trump and his administration to make our cities safer, to make America safer. I'm a father of 4, and when I see Secretary Kristi Noem's post on X, where she's posting
Looks like we've lost him.
Yeah, we lost his audio there, but great points. And, obviously shows that you can be...
Yeah, but no, not the Democrats. The Democrats don't believe in that.
Christian, protecting your flock.
They don't believe in God.
Your parishioners or whatever, however you say it, depending on your faith. But the idea that They're not out trying to make more arguments with people. They're just trying to be able to practice in peace.
Yeah, unfortunately, this is the world we live in now. That's why I had to go through a metal detector a few weeks ago when I went to a church here in this area in Midtown. And then we always have police officers at our church, and we always walk over and thank him. But now we've been told they're ramping up even more and more police officers at all of these churches because we're worried about something like this.
Of course,
God bless him. Yes.
Yeah, we want to thank Pastor Kirk Graham for coming on with us.
I'm Steve.
That's wild. You know, they have to have security and police at churches to prevent these radical Democrats from going to and disturbing service. That's these people don't believe in God. I don't think the Democrats, I don't think they ever believed in God. I don't even think that to this day, man, it's just so fucking crazy that it's confirmed to me we live in hell. We're living in hell. And we pray and we hope that, you know, Jesus comes and saves us. But his time has came and has went, and you know, and it's our time now, and we're supposed to take over, and we're doing a horrible job. We're not doing a good job at all. Like it just makes me question because it's like, where's Jesus? Where's Jesus? Where are you? Everyone's praying to come. When you're coming back, everybody's saying you're coming back. You're coming back. He is here. He's gonna come back. You know, but you're not gonna like when he does come back because that's when everybody's gonna be gone at the same time. It's not us that he's coming to. You know, it's not him coming to us. It's us coming to him. That's when Jesus comes back. Is when we go to him. And I tell you right now, it's going to be very scary when you get judged in your afterlife. It's not going to be nice. Because I tell you right now, there's so much ugly that people have done. They have so many secrets and so many hidden bones in their closets that Jesus is not going to be happy with you at all. I'm telling you, everyone is a sinner. No one is no one's a saint. Everyone has sin. I have sin. Everyone's sin. I'm sinning right now, smoking. You know, we sin every day. But that's just the way life is. All right, let's keep it moving. We got more to watch. What is going on here?
Now at 5 o'clock, 1 year ago today, President Trump was inaugurated, beginning his second term, and people around the country and in Connecticut today are walking out of work and school to protest the administration.
What?
Part of what they're calling the
Walking out of work?
There are 12 rallies around the state.
What an idiot.
Dylan Fearon has been at 2 of them.
Who thinks of this shit?
Right now with more for us tonight, Dylan.
I guess they don't have bills to pay.
It's quiet outside the state capitol, Hartford, right now. A couple
white
hours ago,
schools.
much different story. Hundreds of people behind me
And I bet
protesting
he's only in
against the Trump
Democratic
administration
states.
with the message and vision of disrupting.
This is so stupid.
From the Capitol to West Hartford Town Hall, several hundred in Greater Hartford.
Oh, that's just a little group.
President Trump.
That's just a little group. I've been there before.
West Hartford
That's all
Stands Up
bullshit.
and helped organize this rally during the Free America Walkout.
We will disrupt the norms that are keeping our more and more authoritarian government in power every day, that we will walk out of our spaces, we will be disruptive, and we will remind this government that they can't function without the will of the people.
The National Walkout is organized by the
you
Social
guys.
Justice Group.
Everybody
Women's
else is doing
On
their
the
shit.
movement's website, the group writes, "This is not a request. This is a rupture. This is a protest and a promise. In the face of fascism, we will be ungovernable." The group is encouraging folks to leave work and school to join its mass movement.
Listen to that.
This crowd is important. We need to get
This crowd is important. What? 20, 30 people?
The main
You
issue
kidding
with
me?
the Trump administration.
Oh,
according to
yeah,
these
the
protesters,
rainbow
are
flag,
still
the
centered around
Palestinian
ICE
flag.
and how their agents
What
operate.
else? What
Just
other-
2 weeks after Renee Good was shot
Oh,
and
the
killed
Renee
by
Good
an
too.
agent in
Okay.
Minneapolis.
This is the way to do it,
I would've shot
peacefully,
that bitch
but
too.
loudly, and for our grandchildren
lucky, I would've
and
unloaded
for
on her.
our country, and to fix the mess we're in right now.
The
mess.
protests in Greater
kidding
Hartford
me?
have been peaceful. There was one Trump supporter with a megaphone in the middle of protesters.
Oh, I
in
would've
West
done
Hartford.
that too.
Disrupting, it got tense, but it never became violent.
we have power and that we are frightened, we are angry, and that we need to be listened to.
All the Karens.
Mark,
All
Aaron,
parents
tens
don't
of
want to work.
thousands of people around the country participated in the Free America Walkout today. More than 800 rallies and protests nationwide. I'm your reporter
Who the
live
hell
in Hartford
protests
tonight,
that?
Dylan Fear, in Channel 3.
Who has
Eyewitness
time
News.
to do that
Dylan,
shit?
thank you. Also,
who has time to go and protest and stand in this fucking cold, because it's fucking cold as fuck, right? So all these people are going to end up getting sick. They're going to end up getting pneumonia, and ultimately they're you know it's not good, not smart move. But these Democrats, that's all they do. They bitch, whine, complain. It's like, here's some cheese for your wine. It's like, what is going on, man? Why people cannot get along? I swear to God, I wish I lived in a world that there's no like two-party system or no parties. There should be no parties at all. It should just be people, all one, united. Have you ever heard united? You got to stay united, because if you divide, that's where we fall. We have to stick together. But these Democrats, they will try to fight, bitch, whine, complain. You've got to remember, these are like paid protesters to go out and agitate, and then they get on the camera, and the camera makes it seem like it's big, right? That area is very small. Okay, if you put 100 people there, it's gonna look like, oh my god, it's a mass hysteria, and it's not. It's like 100 people. That's it. That's crazy. But these people, that's what they are. They're fucking weirdos, and they just want to tear down our country no matter what. They're never happy. They're never happy. It's just it's embedded in their soul. They will never be happy, and they will be judged. And trust me, they're coming back to Earth because they're going to be reincarnated back into a prison planet. That's what reincarnation is a resentencing of your sins, and you get to come back to Earth. But guess what? It's going to be even harder the next time you come. So congratulations, asshole. You're going to get a one-way ticket to like torture. You're going to end up coming back as a fucking bug, and someone's just going to come and just step on you, and you're just going to keep going through these cycles of horrible deaths because you never learn your lesson. You don't learn your lesson. All right, guys, let's see what else we got here. We got so much to cover. And of course, the audio is not working, but I got to take pictures of this stuff because it's documentation. So every time it does that, I have to take a picture. I didn't do it earlier, but it's okay. I'll do it now. Because every time I do my show, it always fucks up the audio. It does. It's always, and it's coming through StreamYard. So I'm telling you, next month I will be getting StreamYard for free. I ain't paying $45 next month. Hell, fucking no. Not until they fix their shit. If they can't fix it within that free month, then that's when I'll put my show on a hiatus, and then I'll take care of what I have to do and learn a new system, and then come back and produce again. But it's just, StreamYard is just not learning their lesson. I mean, they've been bought. I know another company bought StreamYard, but they need to keep up with it because it's getting very tiresome with the audio. All right, here we go. sounds like. Let's see. Sounds like a bomb. Okay, that sounds like. Oh wow. Wow, that's bright flash. Wow, it's very loud. Look at that flash. Put more cameras and make it face the other way. You gotta have cameras that looks 360 all around. Because that flash is coming from behind, so that explosion happened behind the camera. Then who the fuck is it from? Come on, stupid. These deputies are just. We still gotta talk like this. I really hate how she talks. Girl, you're gonna see it in a lot of states. Damn, that's just loud. No sound? You gotta be kidding me, right? No sound the whole time? No sound? Alright, we'll play it over again. This is bullshit. I am so fed up with fucking StreamYard, man. I am so fed up with them. So fucking, it's just full of shit, man. They have so much audio problems. I don't even. It's on their end. It's not even on my side. It's their bullshit system. I'm telling you, I'm gonna call them tomorrow. It's just I have so much shit I have to do and stuff, and I always forget to fucking call them. But I'm gonna call them, and they're not gonna like my call. I'm telling you, they're not gonna like it. All right, let me know if you can hear it, Albie.
So I got this video first. This is from Tuesday. You see the time here. This is just before 11 p.m., which is interesting. The times are all between 10 and 11 the last couple of nights. So this is the video from Tuesday. And what I'm going to do is I'm back it up. Hopefully the sound plays, but I'll play this real quickly. Look in the upper corner of your screen. You see that flash? Then listen.
Can you hear? Yes? Okay, good. Thank you.
So I don't know if you heard that. I'll play it again. Back it up here. I'm going to turn the sound up. Hopefully you guys can hear this a little bit better. I'll turn up the audio. So look in the upper right-hand corner. Right there. See the flash? Almost looks like lightning. It's real quick. And then listen to the delay. Boom. Okay. So first question I got.
Unusual sounds and noises are leaving a community in Bucks County concerned.
Neighbors in Bensalem have reported hearing loud booms and bright flashes of light. You take a listen. A neighbor caught the alarming noise on camera Saturday, and this is not the only time it's happened. Now people want answers. NBC 10's Deanna Durante is joining us live from Bensalem with the very latest on this. Deanna.
Well, folks who live around here say that those noises come from across the street where I'm standing, across some of their homes, even behind these woods and down the street. What they want to know is who's causing them, what's behind them, and how to make it stop.
I'll hear them right away and go, what in the world was that?
It's not the first time Rick Diaguano has heard it or seen the flashes of light. Sometimes you think they're coming from the front.
I definitely know the 2 or 3 came from that way because I could see the flash. This one seemed more this way.
His cameras capturing them all. April 2025, January 4th, January 10th. Just a few of the events he has witnessed.
I came up and I saw the flash from all the different angles, and like, that was pretty intense.
Saturday afternoon, he was in the basement, and he still heard it.
We thought his van blew up or something out here in the driveway.
So that means it was pretty loud.
It was huge. It was, and the flash was brilliant.
Bensalem police say no major reports. We checked with Pico if they'd been doing repairs or had calls for service at the time of the blasts. Residents have taken to social media, and yet so far, no one has given them a cause for the mysterious loud booms.
It's just very odd. And then it's like, how do these huge noises happen? And there's no answer for it. Somebody has to know something.
And people in this neighborhood are hoping if somebody does, maybe they'll call police or Bensalem Township. We did send the video to Pico, and a spokesperson told us that the company had no work being done in the area this weekend and was confident that the source of those noises and flashes are not from the utility company.
County Sheriff's deputies say they are now searching for the source of a loud explosion sound that's rattling the county. Officials say that they've been canvassing the last few days, but then just cannot seem to find what's causing this mysterious boom. They say if you have security camera video of a flash or have heard anything more specific than just the boom itself, please reach out to the sheriff's office for more details.
Hundreds of people in Union County have been hearing loud booms in the area, leaving many wondering what has been causing these mysterious sounds. Deputies say they have found no injuries and no property damage. They're currently asking for the public's help as the mystery continues. Our very own Chief Meteorologist Brad Panovich provided some insight on what could be going on to cause these noises. Here he is from our WCNC Charlotte mobile app.
Brad, is this a meteor? Well, that does seem like a sonic boom delayed from an upper atmospheric entry of some kind. But here's why I don't think it's a meteor, because what happened is this only happened in Union County. If we're going to see this affect larger areas over all the Carolinas or the Southeast, you're likely going to see a report of a meteor. And I'll show you what I'm talking about right here. So there's a website and a crowdsourcing page called the American Meteor Society, not meteorological, Meteor Society, and they take this report. So I can scroll through here and see if anybody reported meteors this week. And I'll go back to to anyone that has sound. So it's a central column here. So I'm going to go back to one that was reported. This was back on the 2nd, and it was reported with sound. I want you to look at the map and see how widespread a typical meteor that makes sound is reported. This might be a little small for you, but this is all across the Midwest. So this report happened from Southern Illinois, but it was reported across all the surrounding states. So a meteor, especially something that happens high up in the atmosphere, is going to be seen and heard over a much bigger area. So immediately I think, okay, this does not seem like a meteor entry. I also went back and looked at the global lightning mapper, which shows flashes in the sky, typically from lightning, but you can see re-entry objects, especially in areas where there's no thunderstorms, right? Didn't see that as well. So I started eliminating the fact that this could be a meteor, and it's likely something else.
Yeah, that's really loud.
Yeah, that loud boom and mysterious flash of light. Whoa, they're baffling police in New Jersey.
Yeah, so it happened around 2 a.m. Tuesday in Hopatcong out in Sussex County. Pix 11's Katie Corrado went in search of answers, and she joins us now live from police headquarters. You solved the mystery of the drones. Now we have this.
There's always something, isn't there? So Hopatcong police have said that they've ruled out any sort of reasonable explanation for this noise. And frankly, at this point, so have we.
It was a loud explosion. It sounded like a house blew up.
Neighbors in Hopatcong, New Jersey, startled awake around 2 a.m. Tuesday by a flash of light and deafening boom.
And we all jumped up, neighbors. I saw the lights go on and stuff like that.
It felt like something exploded. We thought it was our neighbor because it felt like it was right on top of us.
Resident Lauren Manning captured the mysterious event on her home security camera and spoke to us by phone Thursday. She says her husband immediately ran outside to see if anyone was hurt.
Nothing. There was no smell of any kind. There was no fire, smoke, nothing. He jumped in the car and kind of went around the block just to see if it was somewhere else. And then he ran into a police officer who was doing the same thing.
That police canvas came up empty.
They didn't find anything. There was no known damage, fire, or criminal mischief or anything of that nature.
Investigators are still no closer to identifying the cause.
At most of the time when you're dealing with an explosion in town, it'll either be fireworks, which will be very obvious, or you'd be dealing with a transformer explosion.
Nearby Picatinny Arsenal tells Pix 11 News that it does not conduct evening operations, and an inventory of its munitions found no losses. The National Weather Service says the meteorological event is not to blame. Power company JCP&L says there were no outages or electrical issues. And NASA tells Pix 11 News that there was no evidence of a meteor over New Jersey at the time of the blast.
You know, everybody's speculating. Nobody really knows.
New at 6, we have video of another recorded explosion sound in Webster. We're up to 4 now. No one can explain to us what the source is. But this new video is different because it captures a flash of light just before the boom. And Chief Investigative Reporter Berkeley Breen is standing where it happened.
I'm near the corner of Bay and Lake Road. That's Lake Ontario right behind me. And this is where the light and the sound came from.
And it was captured on this doorbell camera. First, you see the light, then you hear the sound.
Yes.
When you watch that video, what sound do you hear?
It was Brian Hensel's camera that recorded it.
When it first happened, my wife and I were talking in the living room. It sounded to me like someone's propane tank exploded.
Yes.
It didn't sound like lightning. It didn't sound like fireworks. It was significant.
A whole bunch just talking with people, you know.
This all started when Joelle Calcagno shared the explosions she recorded at her home in Webster starting in October.
What do you think that is?
It sounds like something exploding to me.
This story has 116,000 views on YouTube from across the country, where neighbors shared unexplained flash and sound in their skies. This is Tampa.
So, Rich, we're looking at what the weather was like on August 1st.
Correct.
I asked First Alert meteorologist Rich Cornelia to check the forecast from August 1st, the date of this video. Data from the airport shows no storms.
But there's a special column here for notable weather, and it's labeled as 3. And when you go down, it shows 3 as being thunder.
Could that have been as close as Webster?
For sure. Certainly, if you had lightning in Webster, there's a chance you could hear it at the Rochester airport.
There is no thunder for the dates of the other explosions. And when we freeze Brian Hensel's video, it shows the light coming from the ground, not the sky.
The town supervisor told me that they investigated this back in October and could not locate a source for the explosions. Since we're so close to the lake, I contacted the Coast Guard. The Coast Guard tells me there's nothing in its logs about being called to investigate an explosion over or near the lake. In Webster, Berkeley News 10 NBC.
Argini says there were no equipment problems or outages in Webster on August 1st.
Central Berkeley Fire and EMS says there was no evidence found of any explosion after receiving a report of an explosion in the area of the 1600 block of Black Tom Road near Cane Bay. Officials say they responded to the scene Sunday night just after 10. They did an extensive search of that area and they found no evidence of any explosion. The agency says the call was ruled unfounded and all units were cleared.
And I'm going to show you quickly, this wasn't the only video I got this week. This was a video from, let me show you this one. Hold on. I'll try to pull it up here. This was the video from last night, almost identical setup to what we saw on Tuesday.
Yeah,
this go around, though, it wasn't right before 11. It was around 10:15. So this would have been Thursday night into Friday morning. So what do I think this is?
I mean, listen, the sun has been throwing a lot of energy at us. Thank you, Jason A, for a great upload. The sun has been throwing a lot of energy at us, and Earth is doing some stuff, you know. And I don't think there's going to be a lot of people dying this year because a lot of them can't handle the energy, especially what the sun is throwing at us at this moment. A lot of people are going crazy. A lot of people are doing some crazy ass shit. As you can see every day with the protest and people walking out of work today and encouraging the kids to leave school and the teachers to leave and join also. That doesn't even make sense. For what? You're going to miss a day of work for what? You're gonna miss out on all that money because you want to go and say fuck ICE and badmouth the president. That's productive. That's where you see your life at sit and look at the mirror and then question yourself. Is that a smart thing to do? Like to go and agitate and be destructive, like be just you're just destructive. That's all you guys are being. You're a distraction. You're a nuisance. Like, what are you guys are trying to achieve? Like, do you have a better alternative in what's going on? Because last time I checked, Trump has been very successful throughout his whole life. And where have you been successful? Because you're out here protesting and acting a fool. This is not success. This is trash. And you guys need to do something better with your lives. You know what I mean? Fuck. I'd rather just continue to do what I'm doing because at least I'm doing something. You know, and I'm trying to pass message, try to pass the news on to you guys, giving you raw feelings and how I feel about these videos. It's what's happening, and the energy is coming from within as the reaction that is being recorded. So that's the purpose of the show, My Mind Over Your Matter. And but we got a lot of stupid people. There's a lot of stupid people that live amongst us, and they never learn. You know what I mean? They're like stuck on stupid. And it is that mood that they can't get across their heads. Like, you don't have any responsibilities. You don't got nothing better else to do than be out there and banging and distracting and interfering with ICE on a daily basis. Like, does that make any sense? While Obama, fucking ICE had a field day with Obama, and he got rid of like almost double or triple the amount what Trump has done. You know, Trump's trying to do top what Obama did, but Obama threw a lot of people out of this country. You know what I mean? So why is it a big fuss when Trump is doing it? You know, oh, you're destroying our communities, our communities. Well, they can have a community wherever they go. You don't think that the Somalis, they have their own homes? They could go back. Why they can't go back? Why not? Answer me that question. Because why not? All right, let's keep it moving. We got more to watch here. What we got here? Let's check this out. I don't know what is this about. But it's a podium, and we're gonna see what this is.
To share this, we are all following some breaking news. This is from the Associated Press stating that the Justice Department has subpoenaed Minnesota Governor Tim Walz and 5 other Minnesota officials in immigration enforcement obstruction investigation. I wanted to share this live look with you of Minneapolis and share a little bit more on this breaking news as we continue to follow it. Federal prosecutors have served 6 grand jury subpoenas, part of an investigation into whether they obstructed or impeded.
Oh, they are in trouble.
Federal law enforcement during an immigration operation in Minneapolis, St. Paul, that area. That's according to a person familiar with this matter. The subpoenas, which seek records sent to the offices of Governor Tim Walz, Attorney General Keith Ellison, Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Fry, St. Paul Mayor Herr, and officials in Ramsey and Hennepin counties. Now, that person who spoke to the Associated Press was not authorized to publicly discuss the ongoing investigation and spoke to the AP on the condition of anonymity. The subpoenas are related to an investigation into whether Minnesota officials obstructed federal immigration enforcement through public statements they made. That's according to 2 people familiar with that matter. They said then it was focused on the potential violation of a conspiracy statute. Walz and Fry, both Democrats, have called the probe a bullying tactic meant to quell political opposition. And this is the reaction from Mayor Jacob Fry, saying, in Minneapolis, we won't be afraid. We know the difference between right and wrong. And as mayor,
we know the difference between right and wrong.
I was elected to do, keeping our community safe and standing up for our values. We're also getting reaction from Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. This is the lengthy statement that he shared saying, Mr. President, Minnesota invites you to see our values in action. Come see how communities
do not go to Minnesota. They're going to try to kill you, Trump.
The spirit of this state refuses to be defined by division.
Do not even accept that.
I invite you to join me and others in our community to help restore calm and order and reaffirm that public safety comes from shared purpose, trust,
that's a trap.
Respect. But let me be absolutely clear.
That's a trap.
The state of Minnesota will not be drawn into political theater. This Justice Department investigation, sparked by calls for accountability in the face of violence, chaos, and the killing of Renee Good, does not seek justice. It is a partisan distraction. Minnesotans are more concerned with safety and peace rather than the baseless legal tactics aimed at intimidating public servants standing shoulder to shoulder with their community.
That's bullshit. Trump, do not accept that fucking invite. Hell no. You don't go sleeping with the devil. You don't go visiting the devils. You know what I mean? Those people, they're very untrustworthy. Here's the sound again. Fuck. The audio is just, I don't know what is going on with them. But I gotta take another picture. Take another picture. All right. And then I gotta see if the audio works when I bring it back up again. But do not go visit that motherfucker. Like Tim Watts, do you believe anything Tim Watts is gonna be popping up? Like I wouldn't trust that mother for nothing. I wouldn't even eat a baked cookie from him. Hell no. I wouldn't even drink any water from him. I don't trust him and his peoples. And that's all it's going to be. It's nothing but danger. It's like Minnesota is not a place you want to go, especially like what's been going on there and how their people, how they route their people. And the Democrats are really crazy, man. They're so delusional. Like I don't know what happened to that party, man. What happened to the Democratic Party? It wasn't like that before. Like it was not like that. The Democratic Party was just not like how it is now. Oh my God, they've been infiltrated. They've been infiltrated by the stupid party. I don't know what party it is. It's probably the asshole party. It's the big ass like donkey. But they're really gotten like really out of touch and very selfish. Like, look, all that money has been funneled through Minnesota and has been lost because of the Somali community and the other fraudsters. It's not only Somalis. We can't just blame them. There's a lot of whites, there's a lot of blacks, and there's a lot of Spanish people that took advantage. And it's not only the Somalis, okay? So I can't just go after just one, race, and it's just not like that. It's every motherfucking people that is corrupt there in Minnesota. That's the cancer that's in our system. That's the cancer in the United States. And it's not just in Minnesota. It's worse in California. It's worse in New York. It's worse in Connecticut. It's all over. It's all over. It's cancer. And it's like, how are we going to defeat fraud? If fraud lives within us every day. Everyone commits fraud. Like there's so many people that commits fraud every fucking day. And they're not held accountable. And I wish Judgment Day was to come. And I hope it happens soon. Because all these motherfuckers are going to be praying, and I'm not. I'm not going to be on my hands and knees. No, I'm not. Because I did not do nothing wrong. These motherfuckers have just been the worst of the worst. And I can stand up with my head up high. And I will be taken, and I'll be in a better place than everyone else. I tell you that for sure. I tell you that for sure. From everything that's been going on, especially in our government and all the fraud, like you don't understand. There's billions upon billions and billions and billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars that has been wasted in this country, and that's taxpayers' money. And everyone is just like, oh, fuck it, let's go out there and protest. Fuck Trump, fuck ICE, get the fuck out. ICE, get the fuck out. Say her name. Say her name. I go, who? The white girl? I would just say just like that. Who? The white girl? Oh, you're racist now. You're racist. You're racist against the whites. Oh, we're changing the narrative now? So what happened to the black people? They just went into hiding? I'm not really understanding what is going on here. I just don't know what the fuck is going on at this point. I'm fucking lost. I'm lost. All right, let's see what else we got here. Let me set this up again. It's just getting on my nerves. It does it on purpose. I think it does it on purpose because it loves me.
Thousands of dollars in jewelry have now been stolen.
Can you hear it okay?
Multiple smash and grab robberies all around.
Let me know if you can hear it.
Police are still looking into whether these are all connected. And your reporter Owen Kingsley is live in Bristol, where the most recent robbery happened. Owen?
That's right,
This
Kara.
is
Around
Bristol?
6:30 last night at K Jewelers, two people with
What?
masks wielding hammers broke into some glass display cases.
Oh,
with
hell
the jewelry
no.
inside. They got away before police arrived, and right now those details matching up with other recent robberies across the state.
Oh,
Weeks after the
Lord. Look
busiest
at
time
that.
of year, Connecticut jewelry stores inside malls and shopping centers are being targeted. In Waterbury,
Oh.
Saturday around 5:30, police responded to an attempted robbery at K Jewelers at the Brass Mill Center Mall. The suspects fled before police arrived and stole nothing. Employees at several neighboring stores heard
What?
loud banging before two people ran out with sledgehammers. A short while later,
What?
about $50,000 worth of jewelry was stolen after a smash and grab at Macy's in the Connecticut Post Mall in Milford. The two incidents happened in 37 minutes apart, about the same amount of time it takes to drive between the two malls. We spoke Tuesday with a technician for a company
And I bet you they
that
don't even
repairs
live here.
display cases, who says he's getting more and more calls for these fixes.
This is going on all over the place. I mean, it seems like a common occurrence. They'll smash in the
Yeah,
back, they're gone in like
where's
2 minutes.
Jesus?
Yeah, in front of the staff is just left with
Like,
a
come
mouthful.
on, man. We need them.
Waterbury and
Need
Milford
judgment.
police tell us they are working with local, state, and federal agencies on trying to see if any of these crimes are connected. We're still waiting to hear back from Bristol police investigators.
Look at the fucking cameras.
Live in Bristol, I'm Owen Kingsley, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
So stupid, these
thanks.
reporters. These reporters are so stupid. You guys are so stupid. We're in the day and age that there's fucking cameras. Cameras. You will know if it's the same fucking group or not in seconds. Why the fuck is like the news is so fucking slow and then they seem so stupid. Like sometimes I watch a lot of news, trust me. And I know when it's a fucking bullshit, right? These reporters. Like the police, if they're working the case, they should already know like the video and seen the videos and gotten a lot of videos because malls have a lot of videos, so they could just like pinpoint and see and then compare it to the other robberies and then come up, with it say, yeah, it's the same group, or no, it's not, it's a different people, this and that. No, but they the news like to milk you. That's what I call it. They like milking you because they want you to stay and watch and continue to see if and it's like all suspenseful and shit. Just no, get them motherfuckers, and shoot them if you find them. Shoot them. Like we got to go back to these days. Like you do a high crime, you either get your hand chopped or your foot cut off. You decide. I think we're gonna have to go back to those days. Chop off their hand. They stole. Chop off their hand. And if they steal again, chop off the other hand. And good luck wiping your ass. Fucking idiot. All right, let's keep it moving. Got more to watch. More. Got more. Give me more.
President Trump is off to attend the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland. Greenland on top of the Trump agenda. Michael Pillsbury joins me now. All right, Michael, do you really think that Russia and China would try to take over Greenland if Trump doesn't step in?
I think it's a possibility, Stuart, and that's the basis of deterrence. NATO, was never invaded after 1950 when Eisenhower was the commander and formed the troops there. So, but that doesn't mean that NATO was a bad idea just because there was no invasion. You're trying to deter aggression by others. So do I think out of the blue, China or Russia are suddenly going to take Greenland? No. Do I think Denmark's doing a good job with its defense spending? No. This business about the two bobsled teams, that really is true. It's from the reporting of Ambassador Carla Sands when she was in Denmark. She tried to get a $200 million commitment from the Danes to defend Greenland, and they never would do it. And they did talk about the two bobsled teams. So we're trying to deter
What the fuck we're talking
Chinese
about?
or Russian more aggressive approach to Greenland. Why? To get the minerals. And so it's pretty simple.
Why do you think China would thinks of Greenland, apart from the minerals, as strategically important? Is it because the ice cap is melting and there's new trade routes being opened up and China would like to dominate?
That's part of it, Stuart, but it's not the main thing. The main thing is missile defense, and the Chinese telling everybody for 50 years they're going to have a very limited, at most 200 warheads, nuclear force. No one should be worried. No one should have missile defense. Now, the Pentagon estimates as many as 1,500 Chinese nuclear warheads, mostly on ICBMs that can reach America over Greenland. Greenland happens to, if you put up a map showing the airspace over Greenland and the missile arcs, the trajectories that missiles would come either from Russia or from China, it goes right over Greenland. So Space Force that President Trump created, they've got to have a much better early warning system based where? Building on the base we've had for decades.
We can just lease the land.
Strategically important.
Solid
defense. When I
defense.
talk to Russian diplomats or Chinese diplomats, they're much more laid back about all this. They say, well, you know, you guys bought the Virgin Islands for, I think it was gold, $2 million in gold. You bought Alaska for $7 million.
Yeah, we bought
so the Russians
Alaska.
and Chinese are kind of laid back that they expect the Americans to do something for the defense of Greenland. It's the defense of the United States against missile attack.
I'm sure you saw this item of news, Michael, but China's birth rate fell dramatically in 2025 and actually reached the lowest level on record. A new Washington Post op-ed says the damage done by efforts to control the population, you know, the one-child policy, could be irreversible. Michael, will the Communist Party face any backlash over this?
Of course, it's a population disaster for China. They're victims of their own success. They made a conscious decision. They publicized it at the time that if we don't have birth control, we're going to go to 4 or 5 billion with a B Chinese population. We can't sustain that. So let's try to keep our population down to 1 billion or so by having these extreme measures, including forced abortion of women. In the case of a second child. They now realize that was wrong. They headed off the 4 billion population problem, but now they're stuck with the end of Chinese people, if you want to be in the extreme, that the birth rate remains low. So just like the Heritage Foundation, we have a new report on how to
but they always find a way.
Families and children.
Chinese people are not just going to disappear.
The Chinese are actually thinking about that now themselves, but they also, Stuart, they also
it's just weird how people are just weird. Like Chinese don't look like Americans.
They're still largely a rural country. So for them to get computerized, get the internet, get everything going digital, this is now the hope. China's hope to surpass America is in this area, because in the population area, they're hurting badly, as the Washington Post is reporting.
That is fascinating. Michael Pillsbury, don't be a stranger. Come back soon, please.
Okay, yeah. There's always going to be Chinese people. And the thing is, like, how come Chinese people don't look like Americans? How come the Asians don't look like the Americans or the Europeans? How come everyone looks different from all around the world? I feel like, this is my theory, humans were dropped off here. Okay, same way how humans could, like, skydive. Have you heard of skydiving? And them coming to the ground with a parachute and landing. You don't think humanity could have, like, they could have, like, not dropped people off like that here? Like, where does all this stuff come from if nothing was here before? You know what I mean? Like, how did all this get put together? Like, especially what you see here in my desk and all in your home and in your life. Where did that come from? Out of the blue? Just out of the ground? We just were be able to make all this? Majority of it, yeah. Trees. We use a lot of trees. A lot of plastic is from oil, you know, and we got minerals and stuff. And you know, we thank Earth because Earth provided so much for us, but we take so much advantage of it, and a lot of people not really paying attention and fighting for the wrong battles. I mean, choose your battles wisely, and the Democrats have decided to just go stupid. So it's dangerous, you know, and I feel bad for humanity moving forward because it's just like punishment. Like living on Earth is just serve your time. Once your time is up, Jesus decides you could come home, and then you move on to your next life. That's how it is. We live in hell. This is hell, and every day it's a new day, but every day is a hell of a day. So enjoy your time here. It's only limited. It's not the greatest. Hopefully, the next life will be much better than what we have today. I'm just disappointed with society. I expect more and better from society, but yet they never learn. They go to sleep, wake up, and it seems like they're stuck on stupid, and they don't think things through. They just react and act crazy. I can't help crazy. Not tonight. All right, here we go. Oh, more Trump.
First time in 50 years, we are now seeing reverse migration, where because we're getting all of these illegal people out. People that came in illegally, many cases, they're criminals in many, many cases. Remember when they used to say that the people that come into our country as immigrants are very nice people, they're wonderful people, they don't commit crime. No, they make our criminals look like babies. They make our Hells Angels look like the sweetest people on earth. The Hells Angels are now considered a nice, high-quality person. I like the Hells Angels. They voted for me. They protected me, actually, believe it or not. But they make our criminals look like babies. These are some of the most vicious people anywhere in the world. They came from the Congo. The prisons, I know the Congo because I ended the war with the Congo and Rwanda. Tough group, very tough group. They came from prisons in the Congo. Some of the toughest, meanest people you'll ever meet. Thank you very much. They allowed them to come into America. These are tough people. Before my election, 100% of net job creation was going to foreign migrants. Since my inauguration, 100% of the net jobs created have gone to American-born citizens. That's a big thing. In other words, we're now taking care of our people. 100% of net jobs created have gone to the American-born people. Before that, we didn't care. Designated Tren de Aragua, MS-13, and the Mexican drug cartels as foreign terrorist organizations, and we've hit them hard. You've seen what we've done on the water. We're starting to do that on land. The land is much easier, actually. Water is incredible. We did that on the water so that when you do it on the land, they don't go to the water. Nobody's going into the boat business right now, I can tell you. 97% down drugs coming in by water. 97%. Nobody ever heard of that before. They heard 2%, 1%. It went up 2%. 97, and we're looking for the 3%. Who the hell are the 3%? They're crazy. But we've taken out.
3% is still coming in, but
almost 100% of the drugs coming in by water. Now we're going to be very shortly starting drugs coming in by land.
They need to start checking the cruise ships.
Exactly where they're coming from.
That's where they need to start checking, because I believe a lot of drugs
drug dealers, murderers,
come through the cruise ships.
Human traffickers, fraudsters, savage criminals, and others. We removed them.
Should talk to Tyson
from
about
our country.
I'm
They're
just a
out,
psychic.
they're gone.
I see
In
things.
some
I hear
cases, they're
things.
so dangerous that we put them in
I
jail
just say
because
what
we
I
don't wanna
feel.
give them to their country. Their country doesn't do anything, and they end up coming back. We have some that they're so bad that we don't want to really release them. We want to put them in a jail where we know they're properly ensconced. Think of that. Remove tens of thousands of illegal alien gang members, drug dealers.
Yeah, you remove them, but we gotta keep them away. All right, let's keep it moving. What the fuck is this? No. Okay, let me bring it to me before we go to this. That's a crazy story. That's a crazy story. Okay, how can we let's set this up. I've been doing a series lately on my shorts, in my shorts, of the Pokemon, because I'm getting into it. I'm getting into the Pokemon, and I'm trying to learn it. Little by little, I'm gonna learn how to play and hopefully be competitive, but digitally, because the card game is a little more difficult with the cards and all the shuffling and all the stuff, and it's just a lot of movement that goes on with that game, and it's very interesting. It's just a very interesting game to play, and like I said, like my fever of collecting it is not just for me; it's for my niece, and when I do die, she's gonna inherit a lot of this stuff, and she's gonna have good stuff to be able to give her a push in her life. Give her like a head start. And hopefully I'll have enough good things, accumulated until my dying days that I could, get from all these card shows and so forth, and buying things that I have, use my medium work in a sense, like use my gifts and picking out cards and holding on to them, and then I know when she gets older, she's gonna have plenty of good cards to sell and be able to buy what she wants. That's where I want her to be, and that's my goal. It's not for me, it's for her. I'm not thinking about me, I'm thinking about her and her future. And like I said, she's only 4 years old, and she turns 5 in May. And I'm gonna try to be there for her birthday. Traveling is very hard for me at the moment because of all my health issues and stuff like that. And then I'm gonna try to go down there for her 5th birthday, and it'll be great. It'll be fun. Just thinking a lot of stuff to collect, just to give to her. I wish they would have done something like that for me growing up. Never. None of my uncles or aunts or anything like that ever looked out for me. None of them. So I don't want to be that type of uncle. How my uncles and my aunts were to me. They were never there for me. Shit. I rarely ever saw them. You know what I mean? They never got in contact with me. Never gave me a phone call. Never have a thought about me. So why the fuck do I have to be loyal and be submissive? Like, no, go fuck yourself. Like, you don't call me, I don't give a fuck. I ain't gonna like lose sleep. You know what I mean? But there's a lot of family members that are like that. They're just fake. Fake asses, and not truly there. Like, I feel like there's a lot of families that go through like that bullshit. Where you have like stupid family members. They're just full of shit. But anyhow, I'll be ranting about that all night. Trust me. All right. So I've been doing the Pokemon stuff, and I've been getting into it. Actually, I'm going to be opening for my birthday tonight and tomorrow. Well, tonight is tomorrow. I've been opening a couple of packs here. I got a UPC of my Charizard XEX UPC, which is the Ultra Premium collection. I'm gonna open that up, and then I'm gonna do a couple of videos for my shorts, and then I'll upload it onto my shorts, and just keep a lookout for it, because a lot of good stuff should be coming out of this box, and hopefully we'll get some good hits, and I could have the excitement and happiness for now, but later my niece is going to be so happy to receive this, and it's going to be recorded. She could come back and watch like the day before my birthday. You can see I named it the day before my birthday. And she'll see, oh my God, look at all the stuff that he had for me and stuff. And he did a great job. And he really cared about me, even though he lives in Connecticut and I live in Florida, right? My niece lives in Florida. And yeah, think about her all the time. So let's go ahead and jump into the story with the Pikachu, with the latest costume protester hold off during an anti-ice protest outside a federal ice facility, I believe. So let's watch. I think Pikachu is getting arrested. Oh no, Pikachu! Does Pikachu's gonna cry? Oh, Pikachu! They're gonna arrest him. Okay, he's in the middle of the street. That's why. Oh, and that's the police. That's the sheriffs. Ah, Pikachu, you stupid. You're going to jail, Pikachu. Pika, Pika. Pika. Oh, here's the Dash Fox. That's right. I remember this one from yesterday. They came up and they got him. And they got his camera. They got his speaker. Look at this. Look. And they come walking right behind him. Look. They come walking fast, too. Uh-oh. Here we go. We got the fox. There you go. You hear the protesters? You fascists! You fascists! Oh, guys. Oh, here's the clown. I saw this yesterday. Remember this yesterday? Oh, Lord. These people, they're losing brain cells every single day.
With the American people! Don't forget Christina. Cardio do you good.
What is going on here? These people are crazy. See how the Democrats are? The Democrats are a real wild group. I mean, holy shit. They're just fucking crazy. I mean, that party has gone wild. Like, what happened to that party? Man, in the 80s, the Democrats weren't like that. Not that when I was growing up, like, I don't recall the Democrats being like that. Like, this is just something new that exploded during the Biden years. Like the week on border, week on like crime, week on everything, and let the LGBTQ, LMLPQRXYZ to infinity power right now. That's where they're at. They let that group take over, and that organization should be titled as a terrorist organization. To be honest with you, I think they're a domestic terrorist group, and they should be looked at very closely. Don't trust nobody, no matter if they're fucking straight or gay. Don't trust. Very easy. All right, let's see what else we got here to watch, because I know we got more crazy shit to watch. Why not, right? More crazy shit. Let's keep it moving.
Texans watch party meant to bring fans together ended in complete chaos. Fights erupted all over Anarchy Stadium during yesterday's divisional round playoff game against New England. KPRC2 News reporter Rochelle Turner is asking questions, wondering how the event became so unsafe for fans.
Yeah, look at that.
The videos are all over the internet and were quickly shared by our news partner, Grizzly's Hood News. I spoke to one man who went to the watch party. He says when events like this are free, there needs to be more security.
I know, right?
This video is shared by our news partner, Grizzly's Hood News. You can see Houston police officers working extra jobs as they try to break up a fight. A few minutes later, Officers place one of the men involved in handcuffs. Another video from Grizzlies Hood News shows a police officer trying to break up a separate fight. At one point, he appears to be pushed to the ground before getting back up. Alan Reyes is a diehard Texans fan and says he witnessed several fights that night.
I feel like a lot of people did not pay attention to,
Why are you going to these events? Something like that.
And I feel like that's how the incident started to happen all across the stadium. I was in section 113, 114, sitting down, and then I saw a couple sections down the road, I saw some fights.
In another video shared by Grizzlies Hood News, two women inside the stadium appear to be arguing with each other. And take a look at this. Trash, food, and cups scattered beneath the stadium seats in the aftermath of the chaos. Outside the stadium, another video shows a man getting out of a Nissan Altima holding a gun. You can see another person quickly run away. The situation initially appeared to calm down as bystanders surrounded the man and tried to de-escalate things, but moments later, he re-engaged, pointing the gun at someone while yelling and cursing.
Kind of scary. You never know. Nowadays, you never know what's going to happen.
Reyes says this won't stop him from attending sporting events, but he believes safety has to come first.
Now with major events start coming up, like the World Cup, we should have more safety in mind.
I did reach out to Houston Police, the Sheriff's Office, NRG Stadium, and the Houston Sports Authority. Now, their offices are closed today because of the holiday, but we will continue to follow to see if they're investigating or if anyone is facing any charges. Reporting from NRG Park, I'm Rochelle Turner, KPRC 2 News.
The biggest mistake, what's the biggest mistake? The team's greed. The greed. Right? Because they're like, oh yeah, you could come and watch for free, right? But the food is not for free. The drinks are not for free. The concession stands are still raking in the cash. They're still bringing in money. So it's not like they're not making money, but not have the proper security and then have anybody come in because it's free. You're going to get the lows of the low lives because people that pay to go to that stadium, they pay a lot of money to go to these stadiums. I mean, I don't think it should be free anymore. I don't think it should be free. If you want to go to these type of events, guess what? $50 a ticket. $50 a ticket. And you sit in the seats that we give you, and all seats are all $50 all around the stadium. It's $50. That's how you get rid of the low lives. Very easy. No more free shit. Free is not always good. All right, let's see what else we got here. What the hell is this? What is this? Okay, let's set it up. There's a kid here. There's a kid. I don't know. That's a lady or something. This looks like a skate park. Yeah, this is a skate park. So I guess they want you to focus in the circle right here. I guess something's happening here in the circle, and I'm probably thinking it's the white shirt and blue pants. There's a bike right there, so I don't know if he has his arm out, so I guess he's catching the kid or something. Oh, I hope he didn't slam the kid. Did he slam the kid? Video shows teen thrown off e-bike. Oh, maybe e-bikes are not allowed in there, but why would you? Okay, let's watch this. All right, you guys ready? Let me make this bigger because we need to see this a lot bigger. All right, guys, let's see, and we'll pass judgment at the end of the video. Well, not me, because I'm gonna be talking, but you guys could pass your judgment in the chat.
He found one kid and grabbed him by the arm.
Oh my God.
He started to leave, but then he grabbed him by his neck and slammed him on the ground.
Oh my God.
Only on First Coast News tonight, new video showing the moments an off-duty Jacksonville police officer slams a teenager to the ground. Thank you for staying up with us tonight. I'm Anthony Austin.
I'm Heather Crawford. So tonight, that officer is out on bond facing a misdemeanor battery charge.
Yeah.
Sydney Deshawn has more tonight from Sunshine Park in Jacksonville Beach, where parents and kids are reacting to
I
what
thought that kid went to the hospital.
A parent recorded the video from his car and sent it to me. It shows the moment an off-duty officer confronted a teen right behind me here at Sunshine Park in Jacksonville Beach over the weekend.
At the end of the day, kids are just kids, and we're just having a good time.
This video shows a man grab a teen by the shoulder, pull him off his e-bike, and throw him to the ground at Sunshine Park. Addie Martin is 13. She rides her e-bike here and was at the park when it happened Saturday afternoon.
That makes me scared about, like, you know, what could happen to my friends or even me.
Police say Jacksonville Beach police officers were called about teens riding e-bikes inside the skate park.
And they were like riding up here.
Oh, they're not allowed.
There's a sign that says they weren't allowed to, like, any like, bikes, anything, I weren't allowed to be on there. But they like rode on it anyways.
Investigators say one teen told police a man pulled him off his bike, slamming him to the ground. The Jacksonville Sheriff's Office later identified him as 36-year-old Stephen Hicks, a 5-year veteran of JSO, who they say was off duty at the time. Witnesses told police Hicks pulled out a badge and identified himself as an officer before leaving. I spoke with parents who say e-bikes here are nothing new.
It's an epidemic. It's everywhere.
They pointed out signs around the park saying e-bikes aren't allowed in parts of the skate park.
These are fast machines.
And they do have safety concerns.
You got little 3-4-year-olds out here in their little scooters scooting around. The last thing they need to do is get mowed over by a kid who's bigger than them.
But the people I spoke with said what you see in this video is not the answer, and it crosses a line.
Like they were both on the wrong side, but like that wasn't fair to do that to the kid.
Actions of the officer, that's too much.
That's not right, and that's frightening.
Yeah, he put his whole body weight on.
JSO's integrity unit. The sheriff's office says he has been reassigned while the case moves forward. Reporting from Sunshine Park, Cindy Deshawn, First Coast News, on your side.
That means he's not losing his job over it right now. He's probably doing like desk like duties. Probably working the jail. But man, why slam the kid? And then with your body weight and the momentum, because you saw how he rotated with the kid and then landed. I guess he got tripped up and then landed on top of the kid. Do we see a lawsuit coming? Could be a lawsuit. I mean, I agree. The e-bikes are not supposed to be in a skate park, but there's better ways to handle the situation than what that gentleman did, and grabbing the kid and slamming him and falling on the kid like with his whole body weight. Unacceptable. He's probably working the jails. That's what he's doing. Oh, goodness gracious. That was scary. Not good. All right. Let's see what else we have here. Let's keep it moving.
And free buses for everyone. It's what the new mayor of New York City wants something
free buses
on.
But until then, the MTA is counting on the fares, and it's taking steps to collect every dime due it. But when it comes to buses, a lot of people are sneaking on without paying, costing the city hundreds of millions a year. And to find out how bad it is, we went undercover with our cameras to find out.
Investigative reporter Dan Krauth has the story.
We showed you a few months ago about how subway passengers are fare evading, but it's an even bigger problem on city buses. It's nothing new, but it is adding up. You'll see as we rode two of the city's busiest bus routes. This is how you're supposed to ride the bus. Tap your phone or credit card on the electronic payment terminal when getting on board. Most people charge $3 a ride. But after riding some packed buses for a couple of hours at the BX12 in the Bronx and the M15 in Manhattan, this is what we found. One person pays, while another walks right in without appearing to tap. One right after another. In some cases, entire groups of people file in without appearing to pay. Or they slide past while others are tapping.
If they're paying, they should pay too.
In many cases, we found more than half of the passengers boarding at a time didn't pay.
Wow.
It's not just those getting on in the back of the bus. We spotted lines of people ignoring the payment device at the front of the bus, next to the driver as well.
Not paying, not fair, you know?
This is the only free bus in New York City.
Mayor Mamdani recently rode the bus. reinforcing his desire
This
for
is
more
the
free
only free
buses like the
bus,
Q70
and it's
Express.
empty.
We are just as
The
committed
only
as we
free
were
bus,
before
and it's
to
empty.
fulfilling our promise to make buses fast and free in the nation's most expensive city.
A recent report shows many people are already riding for free.
An empty bus.
More than 700 people a minute are fare evading on buses, and it's adding up. When combined with subway evaders, it cost the city $900 million last year.
Bus fare evasion is a really big challenge for the MTA. It's not like you can station a police officer or an unarmed guard on every single bus.
It's money the city needs to make transit improvements and to keep the buses on the road.
We can't keep running buses and subways if the revenue goes in the toilet.
The mayor wants free buses for all of New York City. Is there any scenario where that can actually happen when you're already losing close to $1 billion on fare evasion?
Yeah, listen, I think I've commented on some of my questions about it. We're looking forward to having discussions with the new mayor and his team.
Said it's a complicated issue that they'll have to discuss.
Yeah, how are you going to
But
pay
it
for
appears
maintenance?
The MTA is not counting on it.
Gas.
By the end of this year,
Salary.
hiring people to check
If
fares
it's
of
all free.
passengers once they're on board to
Like,
ensure
what?
entrances like
What's
this.
the salary going to be
don't
for the
happen.
driver?
We can do a
Nothing?
much more effective modern
And they don't
way
have
of
money,
doing
no
fare
money to pay the driver.
enforcement with people with handheld devices that can ask folks to show how they paid.
And then
And
you
we
got
know the
maintenance
state's not
guys,
planning
you
to fund
got
any free bus programs
mechanics,
for at least the next year.
you got
The governor
cleaners,
said it's not
cleaners
part
that
of
cleans
her
the
budget.
buses.
Dan Krauth, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
You got a lot of there's a lot of people in the operation that and the MTA in New York City. You know, you got your cleaners that cleans the bus and stuff. You got the drivers that drive the buses. You have to put oil. You have to put gas. You know, that's not free. That costs money. You know, but they want free buses. Okay, then who's going to pay the maintenance guy? Who's going to pay the mechanics? Who's going to pay, all the insurance that goes out to these employees? Who's going to pay their benefits? Oh, but the service is free. No, it just does not make fucking sense. That's what I mean about the Democratic Party, man. They gaslight y'all motherfuckers to believe that let's just keep it moving. Let's just keep it moving. We got more to watch. Let's see what else. What is this? I don't know what this is, but let's take a look at it. Seems like it's in Washington.
That is just now coming into our newsroom. This is reported from the Associated Press. I'm going to put this up on your screen. They since put this out on their X account, saying breaking news there that U.S. forces in the Caribbean Sea have seized a 7th sanctioned oil tanker.
What?
The Trump administration
Another one?
moves to control Venezuela's
Another one
crude
bites
oil.
the
And
dust.
so this just came down a few minutes
that
ago.
number 7?
But what we know is that those U.S. forces apprehended their 7th oil tanker in the Caribbean today, as the Trump administration is continuing its enforcement of the quarantine of sanctioned vessels there in the region. The U.S. personnel, which was made up of officials from the United States Coast Guard, along with the Navy and Marines, seized this vessel as well, quote, without incident, according to the U.S. Southern Command. They also shared this 20-second clip of that operation. I'm going to play that out for you right now.
Okay.
And so as we're watching here, this video does not have any sound of it, but this is the 20-second clip that was shared on social media by the Southcom as they're showing what happened there in the Caribbean Sea as this 7th oil tanker was seized. And so I want to put this up on your screen. It's a very long post from the Southern Command, but they did say this. They said, through Operation Southern Spear, the Department of War and it's unwavering in its mission to crush the illicit activity in the Western Hemisphere in partnership with the U.S. Coast Guard and
They
the
want
DHS
to
and Justice
control
Department.
what's moving
This morning,
around
U.S.
out
military
there.
forces, in support of the Department of Homeland Security, apprehended the motor vessel as well without incident. This apprehension of another tanker operating in defiance of President Trump's established quarantine of sanctioned vessels in the Caribbean demonstrates our resolve to ensure that only oil leaving Venezuela
This is putting
will be
pressure on
oil that is
Russia
coordinated
and
properly
China.
and lawfully. As the joint force operates in the
This is
Western
going to be
Hemisphere,
a lot
we
of pressure.
reaffirm that the security of the American people is paramount, demonstrating our commitment to safety and stability. These operations are backed by the full power of our elite
That's
joint
why the
force
United States
team
were in Greenland,
deployed in the
so
Caribbean.
they could
Tagging
control
there
the
at the end,
ships
the
that are
U.S.
going through
Navy
there.
and the U.S. Marine
You
Corps
got to
as
remember,
well.
they're
And
going to
so
put all
this
these
is the breaking news. The
submarines
U.S. forces have
and the
since
Coast
seized
Guard,
the
the U.S. Coast
7th
Guard.
ship there in the region, continuing to play out some of that video for you. But if you do remember, it was just last Thursday that the U.S. forces seized the 6th Venezuela-linked oil tanker. It was titled the Veronica, which is a part of a so-called ghost fleet there in the Caribbean. Earlier this month, Secretary of State Marco Rubio also indicated that the U.S. would not govern Venezuela. This is after U.S. Special Forces captured Venezuelan leader Nicolas Maduro, but said that the Trump administration would keep enforcing an existing, quote, oil quarantine on oil vessels coming in and out of the Latin American country. But in the last few minutes, this video just now coming out of
Okay, that was quick out. Let's keep it moving.
Police are looking for the person who shot and killed a 19-year-old employee at the Amazon Fulfillment Center.
Officers tell us 19-year-old Tyler Alexander was shot in the parking lot there on Powder Plant Road. The company is offering grief counseling and time off to employees who may have been affected by this. And your reporter, Bria Chapman, live tonight talking to some of those coworkers shocked to see this in the parking lot at work, Bria.
Yeah, that's right, Jonathan. Shocked is the right word. A lot of them shocked and sad. Now, I spoke to a couple. They both work at Amazon, and they knew Tyler. One of them tells me they were headed out on break. They had just gotten outside just seconds before those shots rang out. And another one tells me she just talked to Tyler about 30 minutes is shooting.
I had literally just walked out on break. I made it to the second row. And all I heard was the automatic go off, and it was like, bah, 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 bah. I ended up smelling the gunpowder, and I looked to my left, which is where the gunshots came from. And not even 30 yards down, I seen him laying there.
The woman, who does not want to be identified, says she immediately went inside to tell security and call police. Her wife, who was in another part of the facility, tells me she just talked to 19-year-old Tyler Alexander just minutes before the shooting. Here's the woman describing what happened when she ran back outside.
I ran down to Tyler, and I put my fingers on his neck, and I was like, there's no pulse, dude. There's no pulse. And you can clearly see there's at least 5 or 6 bullets in his chest. There was no saving him whatsoever. It sucks because he was so young.
She describes Tyler Alexander as a kind young man, and she says her heart breaks for his family.
And about 1:45, they started letting everybody go.
How the hell that happened, though?
I came home. I grabbed my daughter. She's 6. My youngest one. And I just held on to her. I didn't know what else to do. Because that was somebody's baby. My daddy, his brothers, sisters, whoever he's got that hears all this. Y'all, I'm praying for y'all. I'm sorry. My love goes out to y'all. My heart goes out to y'all.
Yeah, right now there is no one in custody for last night's shooting. And Bessemer police say they are still investigating to determine if the suspects were employees at Amazon as well. They're asking if you have any information to contact them or Crime Stoppers. Your reporter live tonight in Bessemer, I'm Bria Chapman, WBRC 6 News on your.
Listen, they got cameras. Amazon has cameras. They'll know what happened. It's like people are stuck in the Stone Ages, and we have all this technology.
Are the men, 3 men that investigators say were killed in a random act of violence. Tonight, the families of these brothers and longtime friends say they were visiting Central Florida for the Mecum Auto Auction. The Osceola County Sheriff's Office say that the men were shot and killed at their Airbnb Saturday by 29-year-old Ahmad Boji. And what we know right now is that Channel 9's Sabrina Majore is live. She's been digging into the suspect's history all day long. Sabrina, the suspect had a history of mental illness.
Yeah, these court records show Boje was found
found not guilty of attempted murder by reason of insanity back in 2022. Now, as part of his release, he was ordered to go back to his parents' home, this one behind us right here. The 3 victims in this weekend shooting were staying at this house right next door.
I can tell you he was a threat to that neighborhood all the time.
Nearly 5 years before investigators say Ahmaud Bojai shot and killed 3 tourists in broad daylight, investigators say he was captured on surveillance video firing at cars in this Wawa parking lot. But despite this video evidence, court records show Bojai was found not guilty of attempted murder by reason of insanity. He was released from jail with his case referred to problem-solving court. Is that appropriate in a situation where you have someone who is charged with attempted murder?
Yes, it is, because that particular judge deals with all of those type of cases. That judge is well qualified and highly trained.
Former Chief Judge Balvin Perry explained problem-solving court judges are tasked with periodically reviewing reports sent in by mental health professionals to determine if additional treatment is needed. This note in the court records shows in August of 2023, his case manager told a judge Ahmaud had attended his psychiatric appointments, had been compliant with taking meds, and was, quote, happy with his job at McDonald's. Court documents show as part of his release, Bojai was ordered to treatment at Park Place Behavioral Mental Health Facility. He was to live at home with his parents and was ordered to not have access to any firearms. Now, we know Bojai had a check-in with a judge in March of last year and was scheduled for another hearing check-in in April. No one came to the door at Bojai's home to answer our questions about his mental state in between those visits. But I did speak to Bojai's attorney. She told me that she couldn't disclose his mental history, but did say she was planning on visiting with him at the jail tomorrow, where he is being held with no bond. Reporting live in Osceola County, I'm Sabrina Majore, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
More details.
It's just wild, man. Just a wild story. All right, let's keep it moving.
Good evening. A man is dead tonight after reportedly trying to break into a home and then getting shot by the homeowner. Thanks for joining us. I'm Mark Curtis.
And I'm Troy Hayden. The chaotic scene playing out late last night in Buckeye in the West Valley, the home near Yuma Road and 237th Lane. 12 News journalist Jade Cunningham has been talking to people in the neighborhood and joins us live from Buckeye Police with the details. Jade?
Yeah, good evening. And a lot of the people that I spoke with today, they've lived on that street and in that neighborhood for many years. They obviously are a little bit on edge. And last night, they tell me that nothing happened there before. Some, of course, scared. Others just trying to understand why it happened, trying to make sense of it. And for those who heard the gunshots, they tell me they are still hearing those gunshots, kind of replaying it over in their mind. We actually have obtained exclusive video, which shows and where you can hear those reported gunshots. Take a listen.
Mm-hmm.
Now, today, my photographer and I went to the home where this shooting happened. We're able to speak with some family of those who live there. They declined to comment. Understandably, no doubt, though, they have to be extremely shaken by what happened. There are reminders still all over the property of what happened. Evidence markers, even the security screen and pieces on the ground.
I would have shot him too.
Neighbors telling me that they're, of course, thinking about the people who live at that home. Now, Buckeye police say they responded to a shooting last night. Authorities say a mother and her 2 adult children were inside the home when 27-year-old Michael Diaz began banging on their door. And when they answered the door, authorities say Diaz began to force his way inside. Police say a man in the home got a handgun and fired as Diaz broke through the security door and stepped inside. Diaz was found by authorities, shot multiple times, and he did die at the scene. I spoke with a criminal defense attorney. He has no affiliation with this case whatsoever, but he tells me more about the law that would apply to a case just like this.
You know, a lot of people think that it's the stand your ground law, but it's really not. It's really called the castle doctrine when it comes to your home. It presumes that when someone is attempting to forcefully enter their way into your home, that it is reasonable to use deadly force.
Now, Buckeye police tell me they are actively investigating this. They also say that Diaz, as well as the people inside, aren't believed to have any connection whatsoever. So still a lot of questions surrounding this situation. We, of course, will be following it. You can stay with 12 News for the latest. Reporting live, Jay Cunningham, 12 News.
Jade, and we still don't know why he was trying to get into that home?
Yeah.
At this time, we do not. We just know that
He's
authorities
dead.
are
He
investigating
can't
it, but
talk.
they are remaining very tight-lipped during this investigation.
All right, Jay, thank you.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, we can't ask anymore because he's unable to speak to us. Why? They shot the motherfucker. He's dead. Welcome to America. You have the right to listen. If someone comes breaking into your home and try to disrupt your home, you should have every right to shoot that motherfucker. Shoot that motherfucker. Especially in your home. All hail to the yes. It's the only way. All right, let's keep it moving. We got still have more to watch. Oh, the kitties. We're gonna see what happened to Bodega Kitty. So there's a Bodega Cat protections. Okay, so they're gonna protect the cats. Oh, that'll be great. They help with the rats, that's for sure. Let's see what they got to say here in New York City.
New York's beloved bodega cats could soon get official protection of their own. A bill moving through the state legislature would establish health and safety standards for the cats that live in retail stores. Eyewitness News reporter Lindsay Tuckman has more.
Yeah, because they take care of the rodent problem.
Works at the
Rodents and bugs.
Fruit Market on 47th and 9th in Hell's Kitchen. Her partner in crime is the bodega's resident cat, Pancha.
Animals are love. Animals are happiness.
And they're clean.
Has to be a responsibility for everyone.
Pancha and the rest of the city's likely thousands of bodega cats are the reason behind a proposed bill in the state legislature that would establish official health and safety guidelines for cats living in retail food stores. Standards like regular vet checkups, vaccines, and designated cat zones separate from food prep areas. Assemblymember Linda Rosenthal, who represents the Upper West Side, introed the bill last spring, and it was moved to the Agriculture Committee just this month.
If you adopt an animal from the shelter, they have to be spayed or neutered. No telling where those kitties come from that live in bodegas, but just to make sure. I mean, they work. Keeping mice and other vermin away, but they should also have access to a good place to rest, good food, water.
This proposal is separate from city legislation introduced last year that would ease enforcement for stores with cats, which under current health codes are technically not allowed. For New Yorkers who love bodega cats, they hope if the bill passes, the state makes it easy for small business owners to pay for health care.
Maybe they don't want
it'll be cheaper.
Maybe, I don't know. But
they help with the rodents.
The collection, or some people could voluntarily.
And the energy too.
The bill still needs to go through hearings and vote before
where the cat is at.
Law. But one thing is for sure, these guys aren't going anywhere. It's just a matter of if and how they're regulated. In Hell's Kitchen, Lindsay Tuckman, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
And they keep the place free of bugs and rats and roaches and any vermins that want to come through, or any cats are really good in catching and killing. They're that's what they do. The wildcats out here, because we have a cat colony out here, and they have done a great job with the rats and the mice population. And we encourage other apartment complexes to have a cat colony outside, because it does help the building with if you ever had a rodent problem in a building, you would know. You don't want fucking Mickey Mouse popping out like da, 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 da. Like, get the fuck out of here. You're all scared and shit, trying to catch that bitch or kill it. And then you don't know if that motherfucker has rabies or not. Yeah, that's dangerous, man. You gotta be careful with these damn rats. And all right, let's keep it moving. We got more to watch, so let's set this up. Yeah, here we go.
See, the bitter cold is here to stay.
In fact, a potential winter storm could be brewing this weekend. Our Fox 5 team of meteorologists is here to show us what the models are predicting.
And they're all predicting a variety of things,
Yes.
as Audrey and I will discuss here. So again, it's early in the game, but we're going to be talking about the potential for something coming on later in the week. Now, we'll get a little reprieve in temperatures in the next day or two, but then the next Arctic outbreak comes in.
It's cold. It's going to get 5 degrees in the morning.
Will help set the stage for what could be a possible snowstorm in the tri-state area. I know there's been a lot of questions about what's going to be happening for the coming weekend. We are anticipating a storm to develop, and it's for sure that it will be affecting the southern states, like from Texas all the way out towards Georgia. But the question
They're going to get a lot of ice.
Is it going to move further north into the tri-state area as it goes near the mid-Atlantic?
So this is the global forecast model. We're going to show you 3 different models that we look at. There's actually even more than that, but we'd have to be here about an hour to go on to go over that with you.
Which we could do.
Exactly. Well, we'd love to do it, but we'd probably lose you after a couple of minutes. Yeah. But we do have the global forecast model up, and you can see this one. The storm is much further to the south. It's still going to be a problem for the south, as Audrey pointed out, with snow, and this could be also a big freezing rain problem for Texas and across towards Georgia.
There's going to be a lot of accidents.
Notice for our neighborhood, it barely even touches us. So that's one little issue going on.
We also want to point out that this model run here is starting from Sunday morning till late morning, midday, till the afternoon to Monday morning.
All right, so now the Canadian model has popped up. Notice a difference? Northward. Very slight, but everything is a little further northward now with the Canadian model. And that's, again, puts us actually into an accumulating snow band of at least several inches of snow, if this model verifies, followed by, again, windy and cold conditions that will continue at that point.
Now, out of the 3, this is actually the fastest model. It actually brings the onset of snow into our region faster than the others.
Now we're going to show you the European model. So take it away.
And so with this one, this is sort of like in the middle between the 2 we just showed you, but more closer to what the Canadian is predicting here. And this one is showing that also we'll have a chance of snow or a threat of snow and accumulating snow, especially as we go into the midday on Sunday here. And then here we go to Sunday night into the evening, or evening into the night here. And we can see still accumulating snow, all snow, and then lasting right through Monday morning too. So this one's also interesting to see how this one, if it will pan out as such.
Now, here's the issue with this, right? So what we're waiting for is the energy to come in to verify these computer models. What do I mean by that? So the energy for this storm to develop is still out in the Pacific Ocean. So it really has to get to the West Coast, where we can be sampled more by upper level weather balloons that actually are still sent up, a couple times a day. Once that energy makes it to the West Coast, we will have a better idea of which model might be locking on to that potential storm.
And we'll have to wait and see how that happens.
Which means you'll have to keep watching for the rest of the week.
I'd say right now my body's starting to feel a little weird, so I'll let you know during the week how I feel, because sometimes I'd be feeling like shit. Another thing of Trump, man, Trump's been on my show. I know he want to wish me a happy birthday. I know that's what it is. Thank you, Trump. I know you're sending me your birthday wish for me. I truly appreciate it. Okay, let's watch.
Designated English as the official language of the United States of America. We did that very powerfully. And while we're at it, we also took the Gulf of Mexico, and now it's the Gulf of America. Because we have 92% of the shoreline. It always bothered me. I'd say, we have most of the shoreline. Mexico has a small percentage, talks about 8%. We have 92%. And I said, why is it the Gulf of Mexico? It should be the Gulf of America. I was going to call it the Gulf of Trump, but I thought that I would be killed if I did that. I wanted to do it. I wanted to. My people work so hard. Sir, I don't think it'll look too good. I'm telling you, it's a good thing. It'll be hotter than ever, I said. No, but I decided not to do that. I'm joking, when I say that. I was not going to call it the Gulf.
They would take that serious.
Because tomorrow it'll be Trump wanted to call it the Gulf of Trump, but he was rebuffed by his people. My people don't rebuff me too much. The Gulf of Trump. That does have a good ring, though. Maybe we could do that. It's not too
Gulf
late.
of Trump.
No, we have the Gulf of America now. It's great. It's our country is proud for the attack on Venezuela, the attack on the Iran nuclear capability, wiped it out. I mean, first administration, Soleimani, the father of the roadside bomb, al-Baghdadi, the father of ISIS, who was rebuilding ISIS. We wiped them out. done a great job. Signed an order that will end birthright citizenship for children of illegal migrants. You know, that case is in court right now. That case was meant for the children of slaves. All you have to do is look at the years. Look at the years where the cases were filed and where the decisions were made. They were right at the end of the Civil War. They're trying to say that, you know, and China's making a big business out of that. They come to the country, they have a child, the American citizen, they get all the benefits. It had nothing to do with that. That was for the children of slaves. And I hope the Supreme Court so rules.
All right, let's keep it moving. Now we're gonna go watch a little bit of Amenity. Let me see. We're gonna go Amenity King. Yeah, let's watch some Amenity King. Let's put some sound on her.
Going back to the moon after all of these decades, even though they said we lost the technology and they threw everything away and they have no idea what they're doing, we're now going to go back, guys. The psyops just keep coming, no matter what. No, if you still believe that we landed on the moon the first time and that we are going back, well, let me walk you through this. I know you may say, Melanie, put down the tenfold. That's, you know, we did land. The government wouldn't lie. They don't make up anything. Everything is real. 100%.
Truman Show.
Okay.
Yeah, I live in the Truman Show.
We've all heard the story. Back in December of 1972, Apollo 17 blasted off and went to the moon. As you could see here, there's the blast off. And there are the media reports that match exactly what they taught us in school. But if this is all supposedly true, then what is this? Take a listen to this.
This is the first time we're going to send humans to the moon, and we're going to have humans in low Earth orbit.
What?
That is awesome. Like, we should, as humanity, we should take a brief moment to go,
went in 72.
that's awesome.
So thinking about it, back from when you were told this as a young child to up to this date, a lot of people don't believe that they went to the moon. Keep in mind that the moon is at least 250,000 miles away from Earth. And the technology they had back then, as opposed to what we have now, and their claims that we been there, but we just can't go back, just don't add up to a lot of people. So then it all points to this technology that they had back then, as opposed to the technology that they have now, that this was better technology than what we have now. And that's the reason why we could never go back to the moon until now. So once again, we were able to get to the moon back in the 70s with that technology, but we have not been able to go back in the 2000s. So as a fact, always over time, the truth always comes out one way or another. Now, you heard it with your own ears, and if you weren't paying close attention, take a listen to it one more time.
That's
This
crazy.
is the first time we're going to send humans to the moon, and we're going to have humans in low Earth orbit. That is awesome. Like, we should, as humanity, we should take a brief moment to go, that's awesome.
So
Wow.
I guess my question to you is, after hearing that clip for the second time, do you personally believe we went to the moon back in the 70s? Let me know
I
your
don't
thoughts
feel
in the
like we did
comments.
it.
And as always, I'd love to hear from you.
And no, the moon is not 250 million miles away. They have made up all those numbers. The Bible says that the moon and the sun are fixed within the firmament. Either you believe the Bible or you don't. Either you believe in evolution and we're spinning through space and all these other things, or you believe that the Bible says that the earth is immovable and sits on pillars. Yes. Yes, you cannot believe both. There is no in between. But just so Kent continue to walk you through all of the deception, let's continue. This is a few NASA bloopers. I think I've played this before in a live stream, but I think it's worth a watch if you haven't seen it. Yeah.
Look like you're in a studio, maybe in Omaha, Nebraska or something. The shot is so clear. Is this a hoax? Are you really in space still?
See the hair? See the hair?
Oh, yeah, we see your hair, and we can totally see the hairspray that is quite obviously in your hair. But that's not even the worst part of this video. Now keep your eyes right here. He obviously pulls on something, a wire harness, something. And then there's this guy who's handling something invisible and then putting it on the shelf where it's obviously supposed to go. And then there's this guy who's just casually floating back and forth just to show we're in space, in case you forgot. And then we have this guy here. It's the incredible disappearing astronaut. What just happened there? Now, this astronaut is looking like he's trying to demonstrate something, so he goes to pull out a screw and drops it. And here we have Tom Cruise in the first Mission Impossible movie wearing a harness. Oh, no, it's just an astronaut wearing a harness. Check this one out. This dude totally gets his leg stuck. Like right there. Here, I had to show it again.
They put a harness
Look at that.
because they.
Now, we all know that they do actually train astronauts
I think they
underwater
do
to
use
mimic what it's like to be in outer space.
those
But in this
things
next footage
stay
here, it's
stable
supposed to be a
so they won't be
spacewalk.
floating around.
When you can clearly see in the reflection what looks to be a scuba diver taking the video.
And if you don't know, NASA has been caught many times as well using either a green screen or a blue screen.
Recent footage of George Bush visiting the Houston Space Center. I find this very interesting with the screens in the back as they roll in. You see fellow astronaut Tim Peake in this screen here. You see this blue grid. Now let's take a closer look here at Tim Peake in the screen here they have in the back. What is the purpose of this? All the filming, production of Tim Peake drinking water supposedly in space. And there he is. Let's take a closer look here at the side-by-side. Same exact outfit, same pants, same shirt. And what do you see? This is how they love to mock. Just another example. Let's take a look here at some TV production. It comes to this blue, basically blue grid screen in the back during production filming.
Now, I actually have a kind of like side by side of that same thing.
It's just a toy gyroscope, really. But of course, in zero gravity, if you knock it, it's going to tumble.
Do you see he's spinning it at the same time? This is literally the footage of them saying that they're in space, and they're not.
Well, it's going to move around like any object up here does. However, if I get this spinning, just give me a second.
Now, you may say, well, Melanie, what about the moon landing phone call? Okay. Richard Nixon called them from a landline. Sure.
How did President Nixon call the moon on a landline in 1969? Let's break down exactly how NASA says it worked. NASA's official explanation. NASA says Nixon's call to the Apollo 11 astronauts was a standard telephone call, but it was relayed through an advanced communication system. Here's how it supposedly worked. Nixon used a regular landline at the White House. The call was routed through NASA's Mission Control in Houston. Houston then transmitted Nixon's voice to the Goldstone Deep Space Communications Complex in California, which had an 85-foot radio antenna. The signal was beamed 239,000 miles to the moon, where the lunar module's VHF radio picked it up. Armstrong and Aldrin responded, and their voices were sent back to Earth the same way. Sounds simple, right? But here's why it shouldn't have worked. The problems with the moon phone call 1. The missing signal delay. The moon is 239,000 miles away, and radio signals take 1.3 seconds one way, meaning Nixon's call should have had at least a 2.6 second delay in responses. Yet, in the broadcast, Armstrong and Aldrin respond instantly, faster than even 1960s transatlantic calls. Even if Mission Control relayed the call instantly, you'd still hear the delay in the astronauts' responses, but there's barely any. 2. The weak lunar transmitter. The lunar module's radio had only 12 watts of power, about the strength of a household Wi-Fi router. Transmitting a clear, two-way conversation across 239,000 miles with such low power? Highly unlikely. NASA's Deep Space Network needed massive radio dishes just to pick up Apollo signals, yet Nixon's voice came through crystal clear. 3. Earth's 1969 communication limitations. Long-distance calls in 1969 were unreliable. They
Yeah.
had static, dropouts, and delays even across the U.S. Transatlantic calls required undersea cables or early satellites, which still had long pauses and interference. But somehow, Nixon's call to space, and even greater distance, worked perfectly with no issues. Before, radio interference and ionosphere distortion signals from the moon had to pass through Earth's ionosphere, which causes distortion and signal loss. But Nixon's call had no static or interference. Solar radiation and cosmic noise should have affected the transmission, yet the audio is flawless. Number 5, a perfect two-way conversation. The Apollo system supposedly allowed full duplex communication, meaning both parties could talk at the same time, like a modern cell phone. But even military radios in 1969 often used push-to-talk half duplex, meaning only one person could speak at a time. Somehow, Nixon's call functioned like a perfect two-way conversation, despite the extreme distance and limitations of 1960s tech. So, could Nixon really have called the moon?
That's what we call bullshit.
But we're not going to stop there, folks. There's even more, because I know for a fact that we did not go, because I know what the Bible says. I know that that firmament is impenetrable. They cannot break through it, period. That is a fact. That is what we know. But if you need just more physical evidence that it's not true, I can even do a video on SpaceX, how you can see it hit the firmament and fall back down. It's just hilarious, the things that happen, and people make excuses, but I realize it's just programming. I was programmed. A lot of people are programmed, but it's not a far reach. Once you start to, again, unpack the evidence that doesn't make sense. None of it makes sense. And if they're lying about this, if they're lying about that, if they're lying about this, they're lying about everything, folks. Everything. Absolutely everything.
Here's all the proof that we've never been to the moon.
Okay, I totally believe that we have never been there.
Well, in case you had any doubt, I want to settle the score.
I have doubt.
The first fact, there's 5 facts. First one, there's no atmosphere or wind on the moon.
Which means, why is the flag flying?
Yes, why is the flag flying? Why is it waving around if there's no wind and no atmosphere on the moon? It doesn't make any sense.
Do you want me to tell you why?
Because we didn't go there.
Because it was in a studio in LA.
Okay. The second one is that stars are visible on the moon.
Yeah.
If you go back, you watch videos, you watch clips of the first moon landing, everything.
There's no stars.
There's no stars in the background. It's just black sky, which doesn't make any sense.
You really don't have to convince me, but this is more for the audience.
It is. It's for
I
the
do
audience.
not believe it happened.
You know the videos of the people jumping on the moon?
Yes.
Like they walk around, they're taking their first steps and everything. They look all jolly and joyous.
It looks like they're wired in.
Yeah. Well, they're getting like 3 to 4 inches off the ground, which isn't high at all. Like you could jump that on Earth easily. For every 0.6 meters, they should be jumping 2.7 meters in the air. That's the gravity difference. So be able to come like only 3-4 inches off the ground while they're hopping.
They should be flying.
They basically should be flying. Exactly.
2.7 meters is like a lot of meters.
You ever see a picture of the first footprint on the moon?
I think so, but I'll look it up. Why?
Okay, so Neil Armstrong supposedly had his first step on the moon, and the footprint has like these ridges and like whatever.
Yes, I see it now.
So then if you look up Neil Armstrong's spacesuit, the bottom foot does not match the footprint. There's no ridges. It's a pretty smooth foot, proving that we did not go there.
You would think that they would think this through before faking the entire thing. At least make it semi-believable.
It's
they can't
crazy.
even do that. They can't even get a footprint right.
And then there's a video of like the actual spaceship landing on the moon, or like them touching ground. Who was filming it?
I don't know.
It's literally from the moon perspective, them coming down. Who was there filming it?
It's also like, how do you? Yeah, I don't get it.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm a moon believer.
I mean, realistically, I am too, but I just like playing the bit.
And let's not forget, many times Buzz Aldrin has said
I would say the same
that
thing.
they have not gone to the moon, guys. I have so many videos of Buzz Aldrin or these bloopers and just this entire thing being debunked. We would be here for hours. But I want you to see this one if you haven't already.
You say that's me? Okay, check out the name badge. It says Aldrin. Looks like you're right. But notice the helmet. Can you see my face? No. This is a secret I've been keeping for almost half a century. On July 20th, 1969, Neil Armstrong and I pulled off humanity's first extraterrestrial prank.
What was the scariest moment of the journey?
Scariest. It didn't happen.
It could have been scary.
Why has nobody been to the moon in such a long time?
That's not an 8-year-old's question. That's my question. I want to know, but I think I know. Because we didn't go there, and that's the way it happened. And if it didn't happen, it's nice to know why it didn't happen. So in the future, if we want to keep doing something, we need to know why something stopped in the past that we wanted to keep it going. Money is a good thing. If you want to buy new things, new rockets, instead of keep doing the same thing over, then it's going to cost more money. And other things need more money too. So having achieved what the president wanted us to do, and then what thousands, millions of people in America and millions of people around the world. You know, when we toured around the world after we came back, the most fascinating observation was signs that said, we did it. Not just us, not just America, but we, the world, different countries. They felt like they were part of what we were able to do. And that made us feel very good.
So yeah, guys, I they're going back to the moon, folks. They're going back to the moon this month. They're actually going to orbit around it and then to plan for their mission. And then they're going to go back as well and land on the moon again, guys. I don't know what to tell
It's
you.
like
Everything is fake.
repeat,
Everything's a lie. There's
recycle, repeat.
always layers to it. Pretty much everything is a psyop, but it goes way, way deeper than just faking it just for money. It goes layers, I mean, layer upon layer of the deception that's out there, and it all ties together. Okay. But the more and more we look at it, the more and more of the lies we see, the psyops we come out, we know what they're trying to do. They have done everything in order to make us not believe in God, to do everything to make us not believe that we have a higher calling or a higher purpose, or that we're just subjugated to whatever the government says or whatever they do. They make up fake money. They make up fake laws. They make up fake everything, fake history, the school system. It is all, we all just accept it because we've been indoctrinated to accept it.
Yep.
And to not believe anything else. But the word of God is clear. And the more you open your eyes and ears and really look around, you can see that this deception runs deep. So with that, make sure you guys subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I will see you very shortly.
Nice. Thank you. Melody King. Awesome. Always awesome show. I talked about this a long time ago. I'm like, man, I've been on YouTube for so many years. It's forever. Many birthdays ago. Then my birthday's coming up. It's coming up. Oh, I was born at night. Oh, what time I was born? I was born at like 10. I know I was born at night. I was the night baby. I have it here. I don't know for sure. I was born like 10. I think it was like 10. I want to say 1050 something. I was a night baby. I'm a night baby. I was born. What time was I born? I was born in Miami at 10:25 p.m. 10:25 p.m. I don't know where I got 50 from. Maybe from the 5, but So January 21st, 1980, 10:25 at night. So like it's the birthday celebration. Yes, tomorrow is starts at midnight tonight and continues on throughout the day tomorrow. But I'm not officially born until 10:25 at night. So that's when the real celebration of birth should happen. And I feel like the celebration of my birth should be the 21st and the 22nd because I was born at night on the 21st. So that's why I'm a master number 22, by the way, in numerology. And it's a very high level in numerology, very psychic, very gifted. Make sure I put that back in there. And yeah, so tomorrow I'll be here for the birthday, which won't be many people. It'll be a little party. We have a little party here. we'll just we'll just be kicking it. I ain't doing shit tomorrow. It's too fucking cold. My body hurts. I'll probably go eat something early, like tomorrow after like probably like around 3:30. I'll have my dinner early. Like, damn, Rick, you are old. It's like, yeah, I'm like talking about eating dinner at 3:30, like 3:30, 4 o'clock. I'll be eating dinner, early dinner, so that way it doesn't stay like stuck in my system for so long, you know. It's like when I eat early, I tend to not have so much of acid reflux and like the pains in the stomach while you're sleeping. You know what I mean? So I've learned if I'm gonna eat heavy, like it's good to eat heavy between 3 or 4 p.m. And then you just have that meal, and then you go poop, and you're good for the night. And trust me, once you eat that a good size meal, you don't want to like eat later. You probably want a snack, which is like a dessert or something. But other than that, I'm good. I think tomorrow I'm gonna see if I go have me a steak dinner for my birthday. I kind of really like the Texas Roadhouse. I like their steak. They have a sirloin that I get. I always get the I think it's a 16 or 18 ounce sirloin. And the reason why I like the sirloin because it's like less fatty. It's like it has like very little fat to it. It's like all meat, but it's like juicy and delicious. And I always order it medium. And I eat it with vegetables. I get my it comes with the broccoli and carrots and a salad. I always get a salad. I get a house salad with Italian dressing, and yeah, that's my meal. I'm gonna take a picture of it. So yeah, I'll see it tomorrow. I'm gonna take a picture of it so y'all can see it. It'll last you longer. It's like, yep, this is my birthday dinner, and I like good food, so why not? Why not? I just don't want them coming singing at me. I'm like, listen, it's my birthday. You could give me my meal, not my meal, because you get a free side. So I get a free side. I think I get either a side of ribs or a side of shrimp. Those are like the options. Like you get like an appetizer, like it's not an appetizer, it's a side for the meal. So I'm like, I usually go for the ribs because the ribs are really good. And I got my coupon. I think they sent me an email. They sent me an email, so I go over there and I show my email. And actually, they have my phone number in the system. So it's like, and I get a good, nice size ribs. I love ribs. If they're cooked good, I do like it. All right, let's continue on. Let's see what else we got here. We got we're gonna watch Tyson De La Cruz. So let's go ahead and set this up here, and let's watch and enjoy.
Somalians ain't our people. They told some Somalians don't put us when they came over here. That's why they don't put us. And we don't put them.
America, while Don Lemon was storming a Minneapolis church with anti-ICE protesters, the actual residents of Minneapolis that have been there for generations are saying what the media doesn't want to report. Somalians ain't their people and they don't mess with them.
When you violate people's due process, when you pull people off the street and you start dragging them and hurting them, people get upset and angry.
Mayor Jacob Frey is doubling down on his insane position that local police should fight federal agents.
1,500 active duty soldiers are on standby for possible deployment to Minnesota. This comes as ongoing clashes between federal immigration agents and protesters remain charged.
Working class Americans are exhausted by purple-haired activists defending Somalia fraudsters who stole millions of dollars.
The police are being used as pawns in a political drama that has been created by the governor and by the mayor.
And this all could have been avoided if local officials just worked with the federal government instead of treating ICE like an occupying army. What is up, guys? Tyson Dela Cruz here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. Minnesota is currently at its breaking point. The community is absolutely exhausted, and Trump is preparing to send federal troops because the local leadership refuses to do their freaking jobs. Let me show you how all this falls apart when Democrats choose ideology over actual reality. Let me show you what actual Minneapolis residents think about the Somalia community and the fraud that's been exposed. This isn't some MAGA rally. This is a black man who lived in Minneapolis his entire life, telling the truth that white liberals don't want to hear.
That's why they don't put us. And we don't put them. You notice we ain't trying to help them. And then look at all the money that they stole. Look at all that $9 billion. And then put none in the community.
Then he drops this bomb.
George Floyd too. Because that's how it go. When you don't with the community and help the community, they took that money and left. Now look at them. They all broke. They got tricked out of all that money. They ain't got.
Think about what he's saying here. The George Floyd family got $20 million from a city settlement. And instead of investing some of that money back into the community that, quote unquote, made them famous, they took the money and just left. Now they're broke because they got tricked out of all the money. And the Somalia fraudsters did the same thing, stole hundreds of millions of dollars and gave nothing back to neighborhoods. Or do they really care about the neighborhoods that they're living in? This is liberal white fatigue in action. The actual residents, the people who live in these communities and deal with these type of consequences are exhausted. I would be too, by activists who defend criminals while ignoring actual victims. They're tired of being told that they're racist for noticing particular patterns. They're done with purple-haired protesters who show up for photo ops, then go back to their safe neighborhoods. And obviously, the lamestream media won't show you this because it'll absolutely destroy their narrative. They want you to believe that everyone in Minneapolis supports anti-ICE protests. But the people, the real people in the community, the people who've been there for generations are saying F that and calling it out for what it is. Fraud. Now let's talk about one of the most disgraceful moments of this entire saga over the last couple of days. The Don Lemon joining an stormed the Minneapolis church during a Sunday service to protest federal immigration enforcement. What a damn shame.
When you violate people's due process, when you pull people off the street and you start dragging them and hurting them and not abiding by the Constitution, when you start doing all of that, people get upset and angry.
Lemon tried to justify the disruption by claiming ICE is violating due process and pulling people out of the streets. But churchgoers shut him down with clarity.
These people have come into our house and they've interrupted our worship. This is a house of peace, and we try to proclaim that. And this stirs division and rancor. And in the end, it's not helpful. But more importantly, if I was to break into any of their houses uninvited, cause derision and upset according to their values, I would be kicked out ultimately.
He explained that if he broke into a protester's house uninvited and caused a disruption, that he would be kicked out. But somehow it's okay. It's okay for anti-ICE activists to storm into a church during worship. And then Don Lemonhead Lamone tried to defend the protesters by bringing up ICE raids using battering rams, but the churchgoer obviously wasn't having it. He pointed out that one administration brought in 12 million people over 4 years, many of them undocumented and criminals, and this administration is correcting that.
I could also show you many opposing sides where we're also picking up the very criminals that have put Americans in danger.
But here's where it gets beautiful. Lemon tried to hit him with immigrants commit less crimes than citizens talking point. And then the churchgoer said, we're done here, and just walked away because he knew Don Lemon wasn't interested in actual facts. He was just pushing a particular narrative. And Don Lemonhead Lamone's response, they won't listen to the facts. Brother, you are the one who won't listen to facts. This man just explained that ICE is removing criminals who put Americans in danger, and you're defending the mob that stormed into a church. The audacity, guys, absolutely unbelievable. Now let's talk about what's happening to the actual police officers in Minneapolis who are caught in the middle of this political nightmare. Retired Las Vegas Police Lieutenant Randy Sutton, who's in Minnesota doing peer support for law enforcement, explained exactly what's going on here.
The law enforcement community could handle the issues here. They're just not being involved. And why are they not being involved? Because Mayor Fry and Governor Walz are not allowing them to be involved.
Sutton said that the law enforcement community could handle the issues, but they're not being involved because Mayor Frey and Governor Walz are not allowing them to get involved. This is a basic law enforcement mission, but police are being used as pawns as political drama created the governor and the mayor.
Well, what I'm seeing here on the ground is law enforcement being very, very frustrated and not being able to do their duties, not being able to be deployed in a meaningful way, and that is creating a real problem here and very dangerous for not just the citizens here, but for law enforcement as well.
Meanwhile, Somalia Frey is out here saying residents want police to fight ICE agents on the streets, which is literally asking local cops to attack federal agents. And here's the kicker. When the ICE shooting happened, Mayor Frey immediately accused the officer of being a murderer within minutes of the incident.
So the state here has no authority and has no right to be doing investigations.
This is what happens when you have political leadership who cares more about virtue signaling and pandering to their voter base than actual public safety. The police know what needs to be done, but they're being held back by politicians who are more concerned about appeasing activists than protecting citizens. Despite everything, the violence, the attacks on ICE agents, the community exhaustion, Mayor Jacob Frey is doubling down on his position that Minneapolis is being occupied by federal agents and it's all Trump's fault.
This act was clearly designed to intimidate the people of Minneapolis. And here's the thing. We're not going to be intimidated.
Frey says the federal presence is clearly designed to intimidate and that Minneapolis will not be intimidated. But here's the reality, hombre. ICE has 3,000 agents in Minneapolis because the city has become a hub for organized crime and immigration fraud. They're not there to intimidate. They're there because local leadership, you, Frey, you, Walz, have failed to address the actual problems. Also, real quick, guys, we're still going through the tips and emails that you guys had sent in. Thank you guys so much for doing that. We're going to continue our series.
I'm going to be bombarded with that too.
Anti-ICE protest this week. Keep those tips coming. Really appreciate you guys.
We've got many mechanisms to achieve safety. And the best way to get safety is not to have an influx of even more agents, and in this case, military.
Really, bro? Because your city has been in chaos for weeks. ICE agents are facing 8,000% more death threats. Protesters are ramming federal guns to get it under control. Drops this gem.
The second these ICE agents leave the city, I'm telling you, you're going to have calm in Minneapolis, and you will continue to see the great comeback that we had been.
Translation, you just let us go back to ignoring federal immigration law and protecting criminals, and everything will be okay. My friends, that is not leadership. That is surrender. And the people of Minneapolis, the real residents, not the purple-haired activists with the nose rings, are exhausted, absolutely exhausted by this bull crap. So what's Trump's response to all this chaos? 1,500 active duty soldiers from the Army's 11th Airborne Division in Alaska on standby, ready to deploy if Trump invokes the Insurrection Act.
2 infantry battalions of the Army's 11th Airborne Division have been given prepare to deploy orders, so the active duty soldiers are standing by. They would be deployed only if President Donald Trump invokes the Insurrection Act.
These aren't National Guard troops. These are active duty soldiers who specialize in cold weather operations. They're trained exactly for this type of environment, and they're ready to go the moment Trump gives the order.
Minnesotans are exhausted right now, not only because of this, but I mean, as you reported before, the fraud. We've been under so much pressure, and as a Minnesotan and as somebody that is running for governor, what I've been hearing is people are exhausted.
Mike Newcomb, an independent candidate for governor, explained that people aren't going to buy groceries. Schools are closed. Businesses are closed. Residents say they don't feel safe leaving their home. Two things can be true at the same time. Yes, we're cracking down on immigration. Secondly, it's not just ICE in these communities. It's these activists that are creating chaos. America, Minnesota is experiencing white liberal fatigue at a scale we have never ever seen before. The actual residents, working class people, everybody are completely exhausted by the activists defending Somalia fraudsters who stole millions of dollars. They're done with Mayor Frey pretending ICE is the problem when actually local leadership created this mess. The community is speaking, and they're speaking loud. The churchgoer who schooled Don Lemon said it perfectly. Protesters violated their house of worship while ICE is removing criminals who endanger Americans. 1,500 troops ready to be deployed, and all of this could have been avoided if Frey and Walz just worked with the federal government instead of treating immigration enforcement like tyranny. The Insurrection Act doesn't seem like it's just a threat. It's a promise. And Minnesota is about to learn what happens when you choose chaos over cooperation. Let me know what you think about this. Drop it down in the comment section down below. Smash the like button if you kindly would. Share, subscribe, and as always, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.
I already talked about this crazy shit. I already have my opinions on it. So we're just going to go straight to the next one.
The state had no plan. The state was not involved in the issue of housing, mental health, and homelessness.
America, Gavin Newsom just announced $419 million in new funding to quote unquote combat homelessness.
About $420 million of new state support for San Francisco, Los Angeles, and San Diego's local communities as part of the state's homeless housing assistance and prevention program.
Same cities, same promises, same playbook he's been running for 7 years. But wait, my friends, it gets better. Newsom claims unsheltered homelessness dropped 9% in the past year based on the data that doesn't officially exist yet. Meanwhile, the San Francisco mayor spending $1 billion a year on homelessness.
And according to the most recent point-in-time count conducted at the end of last year, there were more than 4,300 people living in tents, cars, or just on the streets of San Francisco.
This is the same a different year. Newsom says he needs more money, more resources, more time, and he spends the money or pockets it. Nothing changes. What is up, guys? Tyson Dela Cruz here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. Newsom has made his entire career saying that he's going to fix homelessness. Every year, it's the same old story. We need more money. We need more resources. Then he spends all the money. Nothing happens. And then asks for more money. Let me show you how this $419 million is going to disappear, just like the billions did before. Let's start with the most absurd moment of Newsom's press conference as he stood there in San Francisco's Mission District and said, I quote, "The state had no vision. The state had no plan. The state was not involved in the issue of housing, mental health, and homelessness just 7 years ago. Bruh.
We recognize our responsibility and we recognize the imperative of partnerships, and we continue to make those investments.
Gavin, you have been governor since January 2019. That's 6 years. So when they say the state had no plans 7 years ago, you're admitting that you've been in charge for 6 of those years and still haven't fixed a darn thing. You're literally blaming yourself while pretending you, Gavin Newsom, are the solution. And now he's claiming the state recognizes our responsibility and is making investments. Brother, you've been making investments for 6 years. You spent $27 billion on homelessness, and the problem just miraculously got worse. The homeless population increased by 26,000 people. So forgive me, Gavin Newsom, if I don't believe this $419 million is going to accomplish a damn thing.
So we're seeing these investments paying off. It's been a flywheel. I get people's frustration. We all intimately understand that frustration, but we are seeing real progress.
Newsom says we're seeing these investments pay off and we're seeing real progress. Really? Really? Because the data shows complete opposite. Homelessness increased under your leadership. The only thing that's quote unquote paying off is the homeless industrial complex and nonprofit consultants and the bureaucrats who are getting rich off the crisis while nothing improves streets. Now let's talk about Gavin Newsom's claim that unsheltered homelessness dropped 9% from the past year. This is the same lie that we've exposed in our previous videos, but it's worth repeating it because he's still pushing it.
The governor says the state collects homeless data from about 30 different care groups across California. Data shows unsheltered homelessness dropped 9% in the past year.
Here's the problem. Official 2025 statistics for homelessness in California have not actually been calculated yet. The federal government hasn't released the numbers. Newsom is using preliminary data that nobody else can verify. He's asking you with his slick back hair to trust him. The same guy who spent $27 billion and made the problem worse. That suddenly his policies are going to work. And the timing of this is awfully convenient, isn't it? Right when Newsom is positioning himself for a potential presidential run, he suddenly, miraculously announces that homelessness is dropping on data that doesn't officially exist. When even Politico, a left-leaning outlet, is skeptical about your claims, you know that you're lying. For 6 years, homelessness went up under Newsom's leadership. But now, right when he needs a political win, it's magically going down. And we're supposed to believe him without seeing actual data. Gavin, this isn't how it works. Now let's talk about the San Francisco mayor who's out here bragging about bringing down encampments by 40% while spending $1 billion a year on homelessness. Let me put this in perspective. San Francisco spends $1 billion annually. That's $2.7 million a day. And they're celebrating a 40% reduction in visible tents.
Over the last year and a half, the number continued to decline and has now hit a 6-year low. Just 165 active encampments citywide as of last month.
So they went from 609 encampments in 2023 to 165 right now. Sounds pretty impressive until you realize that there's still over 4,300 people living in cars, tents, and on the street. According to the most recent point in time count, they didn't actually solve homelessness. They just moved the tents and they called it progress.
And in December, we reached a record low number of encampments, down 44% over the prior year. But we can't do this alone.
The San Francisco's mayor response: we can't do it alone. The resources provided by the state are critical. We spend $1 billion and we still need more money. This is the homeless industrial complex in action. No matter how much money you give them, it's never enough. No matter how bad the results are. We're making progress. They claim that they're making progress. Come on.
But within an hour of the cleanup, some started coming back.
Shouldn't everywhere be a no camping zone? A no prostitution zone, a no drug zone? Why is this one corner now becoming no? They're just going to move 20 feet away.
And here's what they don't see. When they clean up an encampment, the homeless people just move to the next block down the street.
Yep.
One resident in Westwood
They go to the
described it
next
perfectly.
section.
They're just going to move 20 feet away because it's like whack-a-mole. That's not solving homelessness. That's shuffling the problem around so politicians can claim victory. So where does the $419 million actually go? According to the announcement, it's going to interim or permanent housing as well as supportive services if requirements are met. That's bureaucracy speak for we're going to funnel this money to nonprofits and consultants who are going to take their cut before anything hits the streets.
On Friday morning, California Governor Gavin Newsom announced that the state will provide $40 million to San Francisco to help cover the cost of operating 2 shelters and 3 navigation centers for the next 3 years. It's part of a $419 million package of funding being provided to San Francisco.
San Francisco is getting $40 million of the $419 million. That's on top of the $1 billion a year they're already spending. So now they have a bunch more money to spend on homelessness in one city. And I guarantee you that within a year, they're going to be asking for more money while claiming they need additional resources to quote unquote finish the job. This is the scam. Newsom announces hundreds of millions of dollars in new funding. The money gets distributed to cities and counties. Those jurisdictions funnel it through nonprofits and quote unquote service providers who have every incentive to keep the crisis going because that's how they get paid. The homeless population stays the same or grows in this case. Then Newsom comes back and says, we need more money.
Money's being spent somewhere, but it's not going into my pocket.
Even the homeless people know it's a scam. One guy in LA said, the money is being spent somewhere else, but not going into my pocket. Exactly. The money is going to the homeless industrial complex, the administrators, the consultants, the nonprofit executives making six-figure salaries. It's not going to actually solve the problem because solving the problem was not a business. Now, obviously, Newsom and everybody else wants credit for cracking down on encampments. They're bragging about enforcements and sweeps like they're tough on homelessness. But here's what they're not telling you. Sweeps don't solve homelessness. They just move it under the rug, literally.
City officials say they're just enforcing policies they've always had, but according to city data, those policies appear to be working.
But if you always had these policies, why didn't you enforce them before? And if enforcement is a solution, why are you still spending $1 billion a year on supportive services? The truth is that enforcement without addressing the root cause, whether that's mental illness, drug addiction, lack of affordable housing, just creates the game of musical chairs in regards of the homelessness crisis. You clear one block, the homeless move to another block. You clear that block, they move to the first block. Nothing actually changes except for the location of the tents. And here's the kicker. Newsom is claiming this enforcement is working while simultaneously asking for $419 million more for housing and services. If enforcement is the solution, why do you need more money? If money is the solution, why are you bragging about enforcement? You can't have it both ways. America, Gavin Newsom has been running the same scam for 6 years. Claimed the state had no problem, announced hundreds of billions of dollars in new funding, spend that money on the homeless industrial complex, watch the problem get worse, then ask for more money while claiming that you're making progress. Now he's asking for $419 million more while claiming success based on data that actually doesn't exist. San Francisco is spending $1 billion a year and celebrating a 40% reduction in visible tents, while over 4,300 people are still living on the streets. This isn't about solving homelessness. It's about feeding the homeless industrial complex, the nonprofits, the consultants, and the bureaucrats who are getting rich off this crisis who have zero incentive to fix it. And Newsom has zero accountability because the media lets him claim victory without demanding proof. The homeless industrial complex is the real crisis. Until we dismantle that, no amount of money is going to solve a damn thing. Let me know what you think about this. Drop it down in the comment section down below. Smash the like button if you kindly would. Share, subscribe, and as always, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.
Thank you, Jonathan, for a great upload. We already knew California is a piece of shit. We know it's garbage. So, I feel bad for the people, but that's what they want. So, reek the garbage. All right, so we're here down to the last video of the night. And this one's coming from Jason A. So, let's sit back, relax. Let me set this up. And let's watch this together.
Don't advertise.
You don't want them to advertise?
No.
What do you mean?
Somebody's going to try to blackmail me with advertising? Blackmail me with money? Go f*** yourself. But go f*** yourself. Is that clear? I hope it is. Hey, Bob, if you're in the audience.
What do you do?
F-Y. What I care about is the reality of goodness, not the perception of it.
It's a FY.
And what I see all over the place is people who care about looking good while doing evil. F them. Okay?
And today we are talking about how the world's richest man says saving for retirement is pointless. Laz?
Yeah, and when you're worth an estimated $700 billion, maybe your retirement is looking pretty secure, but for the rest of us, it's a little bit dodgy. Nevertheless, Elon Musk is advising just that. He's telling people, yeah, don't worry about your retirement. There's no need to be saving money. Now, what we're talking about here is Musk saying in a recent podcast that AI and robots will usher in a world without want or need. What he said was, quote, don't worry about squirreling money away for retirement in 10 or 20 years. It won't matter. In the relatively near future, he said, quote, you can have whatever you want.
Tesla CEO Elon Musk's net worth soared to $749 billion after a major legal victory. A U.S. High Court restored a controversial pay deal first agreed back in 2018. The Delaware Supreme Court ruled Friday that the pay deal must be restored, overturning a lower court decision that had scrapped it 2 years ago. Elon Musk has now become the first person in history to be worth more than $700 billion. When first approved in 2018, the deal was valued at about $56 billion.
If you take away religion, then I think you get something in its place which is actually worse than what was there before. I mean, it's like destructive, basically. You get like the white work mind virus. Taking the place of religion, you get these dystopian de facto religions that are very self-destructive. I think perhaps some sort of revival of religion, or at least what we need is some coherent philosophy that people can get excited about.
We talk about contributions to society. He's done nothing but help this society, medical developments, rescuing astronauts and more. And yet George Soros, for example, that has led directly to the destruction of society deaths. And yet that's who Walls is calling to demonize?
Yeah, I love how we're starting in reverse order, because that really teed me off. Elon Musk, what has this man contributed to the globe? SpaceX, the first time private sector sent people up into space. And then, oh, wait, you rescue the astronauts who have been stranded there for months and months and months. And then you look over at Tim Walz. And what has Tim Walz given us? Stolen valor, a ton of mistruths that were all spoken about and came to light in the campaign, a failed vice presidential run, and rooting against an American stock that, oh, wait, in your state, your retirement fund happens to own as one of the key stocks. He rooted against the Tesla stock. So Tim Walz, we're going to go with the guy, Elon Musk, who continually innovates, continually makes lives better, as you look at your little phone and your stock app and cheer every time Tesla goes down.
Love him or hate him, Elon Musk boldly goes where others don't dare. In space,
he created so many different great things.
Inserting himself into politics.
As you can see, I'm not just MAGA, I'm dark MAGA.
And social media, with his takeover and rebrand of Twitter as X.
He's had just as many failures as he has had successes.
A vote of confidence in Musk's vision for the future of robotics and AI. Analysts say this record compensation sets a precedent, pushing other tech CEOs to ask for more. The deal was so controversial that even the Pope weighed in, voicing concern about rising income inequality at a time when many warned the AI could come crashing down.
Elon Musk was forced to put more restrictions on his social media platform X and its AI chatbot Grok this week after its image generator sparked outrage around the world. As Liz Landers explains, Grok was and still is creating non-consensual sexualized images, prompting some countries to ban the bot.
It is. It's true.
Musk finally began bowing to pressure this week and announced that X will use geo-blocking to prevent Grok from creating deepfake images of people in revealing swimsuits, underwear, and other clothing in places where the law prohibits it. But the move has not stopped the standalone app known as Grok Imagine from generating explicit images. The late changes have not appeased regulators, and now the governments of Malaysia, Indonesia, and the Philippines have banned the chatbot altogether. Britain and Canada have launched probes into Grok, and the possibility of tougher penalties for Musk are on the table.
The problem with illegal imagery in particular is that there's no exception or defense in the law for research or testing activities. And so we face a situation where the people who are developing and testing these models know that the malicious actors are going to try every which way to exploit those loopholes and aren't constraining themselves, but they themselves have to operate effectively with one hand tied behind their backs.
The Department of Defense announced that it's going to start using Grok after Secretary Hegseth announced this partnership earlier this week. Does this raise concerns with you, either from a national security perspective or from a personnel perspective?
I think from both. For one thing, I do think that the Department of Defense should answer for why taxpayer dollars are going towards what has become a notorious non-consensual deepfake generation machine. In addition, it seems like there might be ways that either these sorts of misbehaviors that are showing up within Grok or other potential unknown exploitable problems with Grok might be leveraged against American national security once this product is fully integrated into even classified Pentagon servers.
Musk is, of course, heavily invested in both AI and robots, so he's not exactly a neutral observer here. In any case, pie in the sky prognostications notwithstanding, this is terrible advice. Whatever the benefits of AI and robots, nobody other than Musk is predicting a near future of abundance for all. In fact, most economists say that a retirement crisis is coming, with possibly half of all Americans having no retirement savings whatsoever. So contrary to Musk's advice, all retirement planners agree that what you should be doing is saving as aggressively as you can for your sunset years. And the earlier you start with that, the better. In fact, you'll probably need plenty of cash on hand to afford the robot that Musk wants to sell you.
But it's true, 401ks often are not enough. And you just see how costs and things add up as you get older.
Well, even worse, the U.S. population continues to grow and to age, and yet at the same time, we have completely taken apart our social safety net. Social Security, well, it's a little bit dodgy, and there's probably going to have to be some cutbacks there if we're going to keep it financially stable. At the same time, corporate pensions, a thing of the past for virtually all workers, and 401ks, which were never intended to replace pensions, are now the leading investment vehicle for people to save for their golden years, and they're just not doing that. In fact, the average 401k balance at the moment, about $100,000 or less. Try and make that last.
And so many people struggling to stash that away to save. I know it's, 7-10% is ideal, even more.
Sure.
But how do you set that apart when you got to pay the bills?
Especially when you're living paycheck to paycheck, as many Americans now are.
And prices are rising. Cost of living is getting more expensive.
Yeah.
But other than that, everything's fine.
How do I feel about that? Yeah, no, I'm asking you personally how you feel about that, because this goes. We're talking about power and influence, and
I'm saying what I care about is the reality of goodness, not the perception of it. And what I see all over the place is people who care about looking good while doing evil. Them. Okay.
I like that part. That was a great ending. Thank you, Jason A. And that was the last video of the night. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Everyone who comes back and rewatch, I appreciate it. Birthday show definitely on tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. It'll be fun. I think we'll have a good time. Definitely gonna be doing my shorts and putting up some videos of some pools. Hopefully, I'll be lucky and I'll grab something good. We'll see. We'll see. Just looking forward to what I'm going to be opening. It's like a little kid in a candy store. I don't know which one to open. Definitely gonna open one of the UPCs, the Charizard, and probably open up. You guys are getting like a sneak peek. Getting a sneak peek. I'm gonna open up one of these packets because I'm gonna open up a booster. So I got a booster pack here, and then I got one of these packets that have the coin on it with the card. You guys seen it on my shorts. I'm gonna open these two because these two I pulled these two aside because I feel like they're lucky. So I'm hoping it brings me something tonight. speaking it into existence, like anything gold and or the Charizard, like the SIR. Oh my god. That would be so awesome. Gonna be opening these. The UPC comes with 18 packs, but I'm not gonna open all the packs. Like I'm gonna make videos out of it, so that's gonna be like a documentary. That's gonna be like a 18 day straight shorts. Well, it will probably be 18 days straight short of the Charizard and see if we get anything. You know, so it'll be my birthday celebration that's gonna last for like 18 days. But those two I'm definitely gonna be opening, and what are your PCs? And then I'm just gonna pick a pack, and that's what I'm gonna open. I hope I get good luck. I hope I pull some good stuff. You know, like I said, I like the excitement from it. I like, you know, the hobby of it. You know, because you do feel a certain way, and when you do grab something good, it's a great feeling. But it's a hobby. You know, it's definitely a hobby, and it's, you know, it's something that it does cost money to do. So that's why I'm not opening up everything at once. Like, no. I could drag it out, drag out the content. Everyone could be patient. I have to be patient too, because as much as I want to open them, I don't want to open it without you guys watching also. So I'll be making these shorts, and you guys see me opening it. I do the ASMR so you can hear the sound. I don't want to talk because I just don't want to talk. I talk so much on the show as it is. I'm already fucking tired of talking. But I like to listen to the sound of the pack and opening the pack, taking out the cards, sliding the pack underneath my beautiful rod here, and then go through the cards, you know, and then do my little thing and try to get something nice. And sometimes, you know, the universe provides, because the hits are here. I just don't know where they're at, you know. But we gotta get energy, and I hope we get good stuff. I want to hope it's a good one, you know. And tomorrow, like I said, tomorrow I'm gonna go out and have an early dinner, around 3:30, 4 o'clock. So I'll probably be back home by like 5. Like if I get there, let's say, yeah, I could be back here by 5. So that way I can set up the show. I can have this. I could set up. I'll probably set up the show early to have it ready, and then when I'm back, I'll pop on here, because I'm not gonna drag it on all night either, because it is my birthday. So I'll probably come on early, and then probably be on for like a few hours, and then I'm out. I'm gonna enjoy the rest of my birthday, and I don't know exactly what I'm gonna do, but I'm definitely gonna do something. So with that said, I want to wish you guys a good morning, good afternoon, and a good night, and I'll catch you all on the flip side. And stay tuned to the shorts, because I will probably be putting a short tonight, and a couple of them definitely for tomorrow. And I'll be on live tomorrow, so I'll catch you then. Peace.